Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another FlyJSim live stream. Today it's the 14th of October 2023, minutes past 4 in the afternoon in the UK. And here we are back in Blighty, East Midlands Airport, flying to Milan Bergamo in Italy in one of my favourite aircraft in X-Plane 11. Of course, that's the timeless 727, the FlyJSim 727. Now, this route is frequently flown by DHL, which is obviously, as you all well know, a major cargo operator. They have a hub here at East Midlands Airport. They have a hub in Milan Bergamo as well. So we're kind of simulating that flight, but of course in the Alpaca Airways cargo division, which is an entire fleet of 727s from our old heyday, and we've repainted them and modernised them slightly with a nice new paint scheme. Thank you very much, Jamlin, one of my members who updated the paint scheme for the aircraft too. Great to see lots of people here. 2 tons of love coming in from the United States, already saying morning FlyJSim, morning to you, sir. I hope you have had your breakfast, enjoying your morning. Chris is here, Will Bewley, Daniel Swift, Captain Monster. Subscribe for memes daily is here. Good day to you, sir. Adria in Janteco said 0. Jill said England is my city. I think that's from one of those awful Jake people, isn't it? Jake Paul, I remember seeing that video. Oh dear. 7-9 airtime, we need more in-flight emergencies. I did see that comment. We actually have now turned back on X-Plane's random failure thing, and also FlyJSim, you've got to be really careful operating those engines to make sure we'll have no issues. Esric said another FlyJSim delayed due to bad weather. We often do start the streams a little bit late, but I actually managed to start pretty much on time today, maybe a minute late or so. Anyway, I hope you're all doing very well. The flight today is going to be completely conventional navigated, so no FMC, very basic autopilot. We're going to be using INS and conventional navigation. Flight time's around 2 hours or so. Weather's not too bad. It's a bit grey here at East Midlands, a bit of rain. In Bergamo it's forecast to be very nice, pretty much clear skies there as well. So yeah, it's going to be great fun. We're on the FlyJSim network as well, so hopefully we'll have a few people joining us on the sector. Usually I try and build my streams around FlyJSim events and stuff, but there wasn't too much on today. And today's my last day actually, before going back to work, so I've got quite a few flights this week. So I was on furlough last week, back flying again this week, and then from November I'll be going part-time, so due to the pandemic, so we'll have a bit more time for the streams as well. Anyway, we're on the cargo apron here. Here is Alpaca Airways hub cargo apron for our entire fleet's currently flying at the moment, because we're very profitable, making good money, making lots of good routes. But here is the beautiful FlyJSim 727 on stand 70, I think it is, but nice remote stand there. There's Mariana slamming doors behind me. It's okay, no problem. She says hello to everyone and sends her regards. But here we are anyway, completely cold and dark. I've done nothing except start X-Plane 11 and load the aircraft in sim, turn on the weather and start the stream. So we're going to do the entire setup from cold and dark. I kind of follow my flow which I use for the real 737. It actually works quite well because not much has changed with regards to Boeing's design between the 7.2 and 7.3. Obviously there's an engineer's panel, a lot of the switches have moved to the overhead panel, but the same principles applies. There's the same switches to turn the generators on, the hydraulics, the air conditioning system, pressurization, again, hasn't changed that much either. So we'll be following it all as realistically as possible. We could just see, look on FlyJSim, we have a 737 from TNT that's just landing at 400, which is very befitting for a cargo operator. Excellent. So we'll jump on into the flight deck. What scenery is this carpool? Excellent question. This is Orbex, East Midlands Airport. So I can't remember the price, but it is a nice. Obviously, Orbex is well known for making high quality payware scenery, and I always invest in the channel. So generally, when we do flights from A to B, if there's a payware airport, you know, I invest a little bit back and we'll grab the scenery for it for you guys. Anyway, let's turn the music down slightly. I will keep it running though in the background because there is no boarding music. Now we're going to get some power up initially, so we're not in the Zebo mod today. So let's go over here to settings. We'll put the GPU cart, connect it. There you go. You should be able to hear that in the background, whirring away. If that's too loud, let me know. I can fix the sounds here in the background. BOGO today, says Oliver Charles. No BOGO. BOGOs are on Sunday streams, and unfortunately I'm working all this next weekend, so no streams this weekend. But we'll do BOGO again soon enough. Right, right. There's no battery switch over here. It's all on the engineers panel. So let's pop the battery on. We'll put the external power connected as well. There we are. We have AC power now connected to the aircraft. We'll put this essential power switch to external power as well. Electric hydraulic pumps are down here, linked to hydraulic system B, and there is a ground interconnect switch to pressurise system A, but I haven't bothered to use it. I just let the engine driven pumps power hydraulic system A. Go that way there. Hatchet, I take it you're streaming with OBS or some other NVIDIA GeForce. I use OBS Streamlabs Hatchet, that's how I stream there. Jamlin, how do you open the cargo doors? I have absolutely no clue. I don't think it's modelled with the freighter version of the FlyJSim, unfortunately. So you just have to, yeah, unfortunately it's only the passenger versions which have the doors modelled, so, unless you know otherwise, but yeah, it's a beautiful exterior model you've made as well. I love the fact that all the windows are painted out. We're going to be taking plenty of cargo today. Tobias said it's Sunday here. My goodness, on what planet are you living, Tobias? Brilliant. Right, so batteries on, GPU's on, the bus, electric hydraulic pumps are on. We checked the gears down, we've got the green lights as well. Who we got incoming here? Thank you very much to Will Bewley for the £5. Here we go.
Hi, love the 727. How is the new sofa?
Thank you very much, Will Bewley. I think what you're referring to is the fact that myself and Marietta are receiving a new bed that's arriving between the next 2 to 4 hours. We've got a delivery, we've got a spare bed coming, so if I have to quickly shoot off, that'll be the reason there. But thank you very much, Will Bewley, that'll be the reason for that there. Another Gene, someone stole your APU. What do you mean there? GPU, I mean, yeah. Is the GPU not modelled? No, it's not there. Well, I can hear it, but it's certainly not there visually. I think with 1150, there's certain things that aren't working. For example, the rain effects on the windscreen, so all the add-ons have started working since we've had the update to 1150 on X-Plane, which is a bit of a shame. Hello, Anthony. He's saying, I'm not sure that's what we're referring to. We'll be users on no time off. Unless, am I missing something? Maybe. Right, let's crack on with the rest of the setup. So what I like to do here, because there's no FMC to load, is sort of do a panel scan on the overhead panel. So all the hydraulic flight switches are on for the flight controls. There's an anti-skid system. Leave that switched on, obviously. We don't need any lighting in the flight deck at the moment. We'll pop the navigation light on. That's kind of universal for ground crew, saying that the AC power is connected to the aircraft and being used. Emergency exit lights will arm. Wipers to park. This makes a nice little noise. There you go. Vroom. Rain repellent isn't modelled. We'll do a stall warning test. Okay. Love all the sounds and lighting effects with the FlyJSim. Absolutely wicked. No smoking switch on. Fasten seatbelt sign on, even though we're a cargo-only aircraft. We'll get the squawk with ATC and VATSIM soon. Pop the window heat on. Engine and wing anti-ice systems are off. We don't need the probe heat for now. So yeah, pretty much everything is as we like on the overhead panel at this stage. Let's have a little look at the well, this is where the MCP would be on the 737. We have a fire test, so we'll do that. There's the bell, wheel warning. These are the flight director commands, which aren't actually slave to the autopilot. There's an independent system, so well, it is in the real in the 737 as well. But generally, I don't use that. I just use the autopilot. We'll leave that switch to nav because we will be using conventional navigation for departure. Flight level 90 for our SID initially today. We're obviously going to brief in full, and we'll put that to 100 to remind me that I still haven't received the departure clearance from ATC yet. Let's see if they've got a ATIS here on VATSIM for East Midlands. We do. That's 122225.
East Midlands information.
Oh, that was good timing.
Acknowledge your receipt of information Foxtrot.
Information
Time
Foxtrot.
1450. Runway in use 09. Transition level flight level 70. Surface wind 030. 11 knots.
Bit of a crosswind.
Visibility 10. Kilometers or more light showers of rain. Few clouds at 1,500 feet, scattered 3,000 feet. Temperature +13. Dew point +7. QNH 1024.
So high pressure, it's good. Oh,
East Midlands information.
Excellent. So we've got the pressure. QNH 1024's got 3 altimeters to set annoyingly. The captain's here. That should be indicating the elevation, which is around 300 feet. Great. So that's all working correctly. Here's the standby altimeter. 1024. It would be really awesome if they had an option to slave all the altimeters together. not so realistic, but certainly for a single pilot operation, it makes your life so much easier. The instrument comparator has gone out as well because now all the altimeters are reading the correct height there. Perfect. So nav aid wise, it's runway 09 for departure, so I'm just going to set this to 090, which I think is the runway QDM, and then we're going to be initially intercepting the 219 radial, or the 039 radial 219 inbound to Honolulu. So again, I'll explain everything I'm setting here. We'll brief and explain why shortly. I'm just putting everything in the right position initially. I want 220 knots bugged for departure as well. And also 1159, 11365 on standby here. And then we're going to have Daventry, which is 116.4. Nice SID actually, which is going to really be testing your raw instrument skills, making sure you've got everything set up correctly to fly this as accurately as possible. We'll also need the ILS 10935 for the DME. This is for the initial, the first 2 turns. You'll need the, oops, stupid thing. I hate these flicking switches as well. You have to flick either side. I'm still not used to that. There we go, 10935. Perfect. So this distance now is DME based off ILS 09 there. Perfect. So now we've got the nav aid set. INS we're going to do shortly. Weather radar system, I want the tilt to +5 degrees for departure. Right, so before we load the INS, I just want to configure the aircraft for this sector, so we'll pop out outside here so it's a little bit quieter. Now, it's actually raining in the sim. I don't think it is, no, but it did say light rain on the 80s. So let's go to the little loading configurator. So here we are. It's basically got a random configuration here at the moment, so I'm going to actually initially empty the cargo. You see the aircraft going up on the gear here. Quickly show you our flight plan as well. So, bit of a fuel thirsty aircraft. This one burns about twice as much fuel as the 737, so around 4 tons an hour. I'm going to take an extra 30 minutes just to allow for a mistake perhaps on the approach going around, plus fat, so we never know what's going to happen. So let's say an extra 2 tons would be an extra 30 minutes based off the average fuel flow. So we're taking, I mean, that's incredible. It's the amount of fuel to get to the Canary Islands in a 7.3. So an extra 2 tons on top of that would be 13.7. I did say we'll take a tad extra, so 13.7. So let's go here to load the fuel. 13.840, there we go. So this here, you'll notice there's 3 fuel tanks in the 727, and because it's a tri-jet with 3 engines, it'll equally burn each fuel from each tank. So you'll see in each tank we have 4.6 tons. That's great, because even though the centre tank's much larger, can hold a lot more fuel, we're going to equally burn the fuel from each tank, so that's nicely organised that way. Now we need to do the cargo. So essentially what I do, I load up a few of these metal crates, which we obviously don't have for the 7.3, and keep the weight and balance all within limits. I put 4 at the front here. You can see how the centre of gravity's moving forward. I put 4 here. We're now right on the forward limit there, and then all I do is put 3 additional boxes at the back, and that puts the CG right within the 4.5 limits there. So we've got carrying 15 tons of cargo. Let's say it's alpaca fur and burgers for the Italians there. 0 fuel weight, that's important for takeoff calculations, 56.5. There's our 13.9 tons of fuel. Our gross weight for departure, 70.4 tons. Optimum altitude, 345. So we're already below our max landing weight, so we have to come straight back. There wouldn't be an issue being over the max landing weight. So the aircraft's all now loaded and configured. Will Bewley is ground online. Yeah, VATSIM, we have ground ATC at the moment. At the moment it's looking like en route's very quiet, but hopefully we'll get some ATC for the sector as we continue here. Now, this is the boring bit, guys. Alright, so now I need to load up the INS. So I've actually printed off the flight plan in front of me, which I'm going to copy. Otherwise you can monitor the pieces here. Now, I'm not going to put every single waypoint in. This is an existing airway, existing flight plan. Look at all the NOTAMs here. They're mostly about COVID-19. I haven't taken the liberty of reading them prior to the stream. Hopefully there won't be any issues associated with that. But what I wanted to show you was, if we can get there, is our en route routing. So each one of these black points here is a waypoint. I'm not programming all of them. All I'm doing is putting each one in before we have to make an en route directional change, a turn basically. So I'm loading up initially Daventry for the SID, one here, one here, one here, this one, and in total I think it's 10 waypoints. So we're going to put the first 9 waypoints in, and then once we're en route we'll update waypoint 1 again, because the INS can only store 9 waypoints. And the last waypoint will be the last point over the approach. We're going to fly hopefully a procedural approach into Bergamo today. So that's what I'm doing, loading up the INS. Every single one of these waypoints will be programmed. So just make sure I've got the right flight plan, which I'm not going to follow this one anyway. I'm going to use the one printed in front of me. But it's East Midlands Bergamo, and here's all the charts. But the first thing we need to find out is what stand are we on and what's our current coordinates. So here is East Midlands. We're on the eastern apron, and we're currently parked on stand 70, just here on the east apron. And if you look down here, you'll find the INS coordinates. So incredibly, very few aircraft flying around still have INS, and you have the ability of using your GPS position to update the IRS. Very few aircraft nowadays have to do it, but on all the charts they still have all the positions for all the stands. So for the INS, what you need to do is firstly move this switch to standby, rotate the switch to position, which we're already on, and then we need to insert our position, which is stand 70371. So it's these coordinates here: north 5249.7, 5249.7, insert, and then it's west, so very close to the Greenwich Meridian, 1194. So 00119.4, and then press insert, and there we go. We've told the INS our present position. We move this switch to a line, and that's the same as placing the IRS on a line in the 737. It takes around 8 minutes or so. What we now need to unfortunately do is insert all of our en route waypoints, which I've highlighted and printed right in front of me. So I'll try and, as we scroll down my flight plan printed in front of me, I'll try and show you which one we're doing. So we'll be flying it's actually, I put Daventry 3 November as the SID. It's actually going to be the other SID, Daventry 4 Papa. So we'll have a look at that later. But the first waypoint we're going to program is Daventry regardless. The SID takes you to the same point here. So let's put Daventry in. So here's the coordinates. So waypoint number 1 switches to waypoint, and we need to put the coordinates in. So waypoint 1 is going to be north 5210.8. Insert, and then it's west 1068. So we have 00106.8. Insert. Number 2 is waypoint Bensu. So we're skipping out these because it's on the same track. Look, 169, 169. Bensu, we're going to make a turn, look onto a track of 112. So here is Bensu, north 5134.7. 5134.7. Insert, and then west. This is pretty much right on the Greenwich Meridian. Look, you have 3 zeros, 55.1. Insert waypoint number 3, which is on page 2, and that's going to be the Son Ingle NDB. Again, it's the next track change essentially for us. Sorry again, chat. This is quite I need to make sure I'm getting this all done correctly. So sorry for not keeping up with the questions here. Alfie Douglas did the flight a few weeks ago in the Zebo and got an engine number 1 failure 5,000 feet above Bergamo. Wonderful. Hopefully, won't have that today. Someone asked who I work for. Very often asked question. Thank you very much to the long-term viewers and members for pointing them in the right direction. Moen, if a 737-800's GPS was in op, can the FMC revert back to INS? I think that you can manually enter your position into the IRS. Yes, I think you have the ability. I mean, the chances of losing 2 GPS receivers and losing GPS position is very unlikely. But yeah, you can still back that up, and we still have conventional navigation as well. But you can have a lot of issues if you're having multiple problems like that. Excellent, we'll carry on with the setup. I got to waypoint number 3, which is India November Golf. Here we are, it's an honorary NDB on the Upper Lima 15 airway. So let's punch this in. North 5053 0. Insert, and then it's east, so we've crossed the Greenwich Meridian now, and we're on 144 5. So 001445. Insert waypoint number 4, which is going to be the next one down, Lesdo. It's these coordinates here. So north 49485. Insert east 3191. 003191. Insert waypoint number 5. Next one down is Bubbly. So over Belgium at this point. That's north 48463. Insert and then east 409 0. So 00409 0. Insert halfway there, guys. Waypoint number 6. The next one down, Louval. North 48176. Insert and then east 5092. Have to be so careful with this. All it takes is one digit and you'll find yourself routing towards the other end of the world, potentially. So you've got to be so careful with this. So we're going to skip a few now because we're on the same track. We're going to go down to Luxil, which is a VOR. So we have the ability to use conventional navigation with parts of this sector as well. So Luxil's coming up next. Waypoint number 7. That is north 47413. It's like Concorde Stream a couple of weeks ago. There's quite a few aircraft we've flown recently with INS. 6177, so 006177. Insert penultimate waypoint for now, which is going to be not Natley on the second page here. It's going to be Hochwald, the Hochwald VOR. There it is, so these coordinates here. So it's north 4728. 0, insert, and then east 7399. So 007399. Insert, and then lastly, for now, it's going to be Rippus, which is here, north 47156. Insert, and then east 8300. 8300. 008 30.0. Insert. There we are. You can wake up now. It took some time, but we've got the first 9 waypoints programmed. Let's see how the alignment's going. Still saying 095. Now, I always end up pushing this, which does the alignment quickly for you, because every time I do it, it never seems to align fully. So by pushing the ready nav button, it basically aligns the IRS for you straight away. I don't know if it's a FlyJSim or something I'm doing, but it seems to take ages for it to align for me. And then I put the IRS to nav. So the IRS alignment's now complete. You can see, look, first waypoint Daventry, distance time makes sense, around 39 miles away. So we know it's not a waypoint the other side of the planet as well. So that's all loaded. Let's get the APU fired up now and actually configure the engineers panel. So we're going to turn it off for the engine start, but we'll put the galley power on for now. This is to do with the electrical systems. That's configured as we wish. We need to put all the boost pumps on. All the fuel tanks. We shouldn't need to configure the fuel too much because they're all equally balanced. So each engine will be feeding off its respective tank. Fuel heat we don't need. And the lighting is all set here. Air conditioning and pressurization system. Cruising at 35,000 feet. You can check the little table here. 35,000 feet. Need the cabin altitude at 5,600. And the elevation in Bergamo, what is that? Just need to check my charts quickly. Here in front of me, elevation in Bergamo is 754 feet, or 782. So we can actually set that now. We can actually put 780. Excellent. Well, all the doors are closed, so we can put the switch to flight. That'll then configure the pressurization system once the engines are running. Auto, you can see the outflow valves just closed. Looking good there. Right, now let's start the APU, which is here. Looks like the EGT is already increasing, and you can go outside and hear her booting up. APU is actually located in the wheel well on the 727 of all places. Flappy paddle, only one set of pumps needed to go on per tank. No clue, Flappy paddle. I've always just switched them all on when I've flown this aircraft, and I've never flown the 7.2 before. Oliver Charles, how long's the flight? About 2 hours. There we go. So there's a little vent here in the real 727, but it's not model, but you can see where the jet is for the APU coming out there. Excellent. Right, now let's have a look at the situation on ATIS. East Midlands ground is online, so 1 to 1.9. We'll grab a clearance, and then we'll brief the taxi departure, and then we'll request engine stop. We're going to do the power back, of course, in the 727. It's the only way that we can do a pushback today. Right, 21.7 is... 1219, sorry, is active. Let's grab the clearance, see if anyone's online and can hear us. I've just realised that my FlyJSim sounds are off. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Professional streamer here.
East Midlands ground, good day. Well, it's best take someone with your standard 105. Requesting Alpha clearance to destination at 5, please.
To where?
Two X7, good afternoon. Clear to Milan Bergamo.
It's very crackly. Why is that so quiet?
Clear to destination via the Ditty for Papa departure.
What departure? Ditty?
Squawk 2035. What is best take someone?
Ground is very quiet there. Let's try and grab our clearance anyway. East Midlands ground, good afternoon. Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha on the East Apron, stand 70. And a couple of information, QH1024, departure clearance to Milan Bergamo, please.
Alpaca 9 Golf Papa. Milan Bergamo via the Daventry for Papa. Departure, runway 09. Squawk 346.
Cleared to Milan Bergamo, Daventry 4 Papa runway 09, and just copy the squawk again, coming quite broken now, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha.
Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha,
3246 confirm.
Confirm 3246, I'll be back as correct.
Thank you, squawk 3246, we'll call you back for engine start shortly, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. That's very strange. Why is that coming in so broken? Not sure, but we've definitely got the right frequency. 1219er. And we'll get the squawk in 3246.
122 decimal 8, thanks for your service. The EG7 on whiskey.
3246, and transponder we'll put to on for now. Right, so just turn these sounds down slightly. It's clicking away here, the 7.2. 80 is very quiet. Yeah, I can barely hear it here. I've got my volume turned up to 25. Usually it's at 1. But he still came in very quiet. Right, so all we've got left to do, guys, before... Actually, just before I forget, let's get the APU on the bus. So we'll close the generator. There we are. And we can now turn off the GPU. I think we just unplug it, don't we? Because that is a loud thing going off the background. There we are. Oops. I forgot to move this switch to APU. Is that powered correctly? I think so. I think we're okay. Yes. Is the INS still on? Yeah, it's not on battery power. I thought I might have actually accidentally tripped the GPU there, but we're all running. All the pumps are off. Alright, perfect. So, all we've got left to do, guys, is brief the taxi and the departure. So, here we are on the East Apron, runway 09 for departure, so we'll probably depart via hotel or full length via Golf, and we no longer need this one. And here is the Daventry 4 Papa. So MSA, no real terrain issues here. It's conventional SID. is going to be for us climb straight ahead to DME. So we've got DME readings from both nav 1 and 2, as we have 109.35 active both sides. Once we get to 2 DME, right turn to track 134 until we get to 5 DME. At 5 miles here, we're going to begin to initiate that turn here, a right turn 220, inbound towards Honolly. So nav-aid wise, we've got 220 here, and Honolly, which is 11365, so 11365 is active. So when we get to that 5 mile point, I'll switch over to Honolly, 11365, and then we can use the HSI here to navigate towards Honolly. Now when we get to 19 miles from Honolly, the DME will be here. We'll make a left turn, 159, which is what I need to set up this side. 159. And that's going to be inbound to Daventry, which is 16.4. So everything's set up there. Stop level is 90, so do not climb above flight level 90. We've got our clearance. So ATC doesn't necessarily need to clear you to a level. If they clear you on a certain SID, and the SID is at flight level 90, you know that's, yeah, it's your clearance there. So yeah, we're all pretty much ready to go. If you have any questions, try and drop that in chat when we're airborne. We'll have a bit more time. But otherwise we'll get the ball rolling here. FlyJSim's in the house as well. Hope you're doing very well. Thank you again for retweeting the fact we're streaming this excellent aircraft. You well know how much I love love flying your aircraft. They're so cool.
After the aircraft in front, 70 Hotel 1, runway 09 via Quebec, Alpha and Hotel, running coming on the Everest. Alitalia 17 Alpha, are you ready for taxi?
Yeah, ground's a bit broken. The
Affirmative, ready to taxi. Alitalia
when he's calling, it's quite hard to hear. So we're all on our lonesome here still. Oh, apart from a Eurofighter, outstanding, and a Cessna.
Quebec Alpha and Hotel and...
Very busy on the main apron here. Oh, we've got an Alpaca Airways 757 here.
Holding point, Hotel 1, Alitalia 17.
Otherwise, we're all ready to go. East Midlands ground, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha stand 70. Request engine start on stand, please.
Alpaca 9 Alpha, that's approved.
Engine start approved, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. Right, so we are all ready to go. So let's go over here to the air conditioning and pressurization panel. So engine bleed's open, so the APU bleed is providing the pressure to get the engine started here. We'll pop the anti-collision light on as well. Transponders on. So that's it. So all I'm going to do is just make sure if there's anything I've missed unique to the FlyJSim. So quickly go through this. Batteries on, power's connected, stall warning we checked. The emergency exit lights, passenger signs on, window heats on, radio altimeter transponder set, parking brake is set, APU started. I know I did forget to put this to RTO for the order brake. Beacon on, galley power off. Packs are off. They are left and right. Bleed, we've got at least 30 psi. Engine bleed open. That's it. We've been cleared to start engine. So now let's start engine 3, 2 and 1. So engine start switch to ground. Let's have a little listen out to this. List him in a 727, a Eurofighter and a Cessna 150. Enter a bar. Amazing. Guys, 570 here watching the stream. Thank you so much for popping in. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button, subscribe as well to stay up to date with the latest content. So 20% N2. We've already gone way past that, so I was a little bit late getting the fuel in. Let's have a listen. There you go. That is a very unique sound. So low oil pressure light has extinguished. That means it's fine to start engine number 2. All looking good. Everything's where we'd like it. T's and P's over here. Look, temperature takes a while to increase, but the pressure's already in the green, and we can now start engine number 2. It's worthwhile noting at Alpaca Airways we do care about your safety. So looking at the maintenance, you'll notice our engines The condition is still good, not like new, but we always ensure that they're at least good condition. Hopefully we'll have no issues today. So 20% N2, there it is already. You can see N2 increases fuel flow EGT. Flappy paddle has no auto throttle though, so you have to manage them. I guess you're responding to someone there. Yes, a little bit extra workload associated with that. And starting engine number 1. Yeah, that controller's got a very squawky radio. So here comes 20%. Ah, tower's just come online. Looking good. Now yeah, the low oil pressure light has extinguished. And everything here, pressure-wise, most important is in the green. Oil temperatures are increasing. Oil quantities sufficient for the flight, which will be part of the pre-flight inspection. And we'll now configure the aircraft for taxi. So, again, I just follow the before taxi flow in the 737 because it's very similar. It works, and I just use the FlyJSim checklist. So I'll put all the generators on the bus to start with. So close 1, close 2, close 3. AP can now come off. There's no start switches. Probe on. And we need to put the essential power switch to at least one of the generators, I believe. No, not that one. There we are. All the probe lights have gone on, so generator on, APU's off, starts with probe on. Anti-ice is not required for departure, so air conditioning and pressurization, very important this, so make sure you got your packs on. And then for the 727, you close engine 2 bleed. It always seems to give me a duct overheat, which I reset. But we've got the aircraft now pressurised. There's no isolation valve. For departure then, we're going to use flap 15. Fantastic little configuration here with the FlyJSim. It looks at your gross weight and configures all your speeds for you. Doesn't take obstacles into account, of course, but or runway length, but fine to work off here. So flap 15 we're going to use for departure. So flaps 2, 5, 15, V1 and VR's 132. And V2 is 144, that is set. We'll now check the flight controls. Full forward, full back, and left, and right. Here comes the rudders. Full right, neutral, full left, neutral. And that's it. There's no FMC, nothing to blank, and everything is now configured, ready for taxi. Have a listen to this loud old noise back here. It's loud, isn't it? Right, actually, that's a good point here. Now, power back might be a bit tough. I'm going to have to power back and use a bit of rudder here to make sure we stay on the taxi line. We need to vacate out of here, which is uniform. So let's request a power back now. Is someone reading back on VATSIM? No, I don't think so. At ground, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, request power back, stand 70, then taxi.
Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha.
Power back approved, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. Just information, it's very difficult to hear what you're saying. You're coming out very distorted.
Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, hold position this time. I've got engine started on the Eurofighter to your left.
Oh, hold position, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. Perfect, so we've been told to hold position.
Let's just take someone with its Archie disregard. Ground Alpaca 137, very good evening to you. We're on stand 1 with information.
So, it would seem that of all the aircraft blocking us from our power back, we've got a Cessna 150 and a Eurofighter. My goodness. Very busy on the main apron here, though. There's a Ryanair. Looks like he's about to depart. We've got some static scenery here at East Midlands as well.
Milan Bergamo.
Yeah, this guy's radio is really, really poor. I don't know if it's his microphone or something. But you can see here, sat on the ground, we're burning. The best part of what's that? There's £1,000 per engine, so £3,000. We're burning around, what's that, 1,600 kilos an hour. It's a lot. Oh my goodness, JPEX, you've just purchased a check close hold mug, you absolute legend. What have you got to say here? This is going to make for something. Oh, I just missed it. Thank you very much, JPEX, for that. Very, very kind of you. An excellent investment you've made. Cheers, buddy. Well, I guess you guys can hear the radio and how...
Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha.
Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, go ahead.
Alpha 9 Golf Alpha, after the taxi in Euro 5 from your rear left to right, you are clear out pushback and taxi.
Oh. Once the Eurofighter clear to power back Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. He said something about taxi as well, but it's coming out really...
Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, that's received. Let me know when you are ready to catch.
Wilco Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. So yeah, it's really, really quite distorted, unfortunately, that radio. But we're doing our absolute best to hear him. Right, so he's well clear, I believe. Well, we'll just make sure he's out the apron first.
Taxi holding point, Hotel 2 via Alpha and Hotel KLM 45 kilo.
Perfect. And otherwise, I think we're all pretty much ready to go. Perfect. Yeah, he's clear. Well, he's taking a somewhat more direct route to the runway. Right. So this is going to be quite tricky. So we're going to have to move over here. And I'll let you listen to this fantastic noise as well when we do this. So there's no buckets on this version of the engine. So before anyone says there's no buckets, it's meant to be that way. Thank you very much, VNav Speed, for becoming a member. No doubt no one can hear me saying thanks, but it's so loud. Thank you very much for the support. Welcome aboard. Right, here we go. Amazing. Well, sorry for the Cessna stood there. I'm about to go straight through him. Amazing. I don't know how approved doing a power back and turning is, but we're doing it. There we are, we'll cancel reverse. Oh, look at that, not bad. Right, we'll just set the parking brake and we'll now request taxi. Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, power back complete, request taxi.
Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, will you be requiring full length of runway this afternoon?
Yeah, request via full length at Golf, please. Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha.
Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, taxi holding point Golf 1 via uniform Alpha, then Golf.
Taxi holding point Golf 1 via uniform Alpha, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. Lovely. So there we are, uniform, first left Alpha, and then to hold point Golf. All ready to go. Let's pop on the taxi and turn off lights. Release the parking brake. We'll just do a quick config check, make sure the takeoff config warning horn doesn't sound. It doesn't. Excellent. So when you advance the thrust levers on these engines, you've got to be very careful, very smooth, because you can surge the engines. There we are. First left, a little bit fast. Now on the way. How's the sound? Is the aircraft a bit loud? It sounds like it could be a bit louder than perhaps I usually have it. So let me know in in the chat if you're not so happy with the volumes.
Could you just repeat the taxi instructions for Thomas Cook 1502?
Thomas Cook 102.
Oops.
They're passing 727 from west. Taxi holding hotel via Alpha.
Yeah, this guy needs a new mic or something.
Give way to the
But I don't mind. Always appreciate any ATC I get on the network. Absolute tank. Love this aircraft. It's obviously no windows, but this is what you'd see on this wing view.
After the passing Euro 5 to come your right, taxi Golf 1.
After the passing aircraft on my right, taxi to Golf 1.
We've got here about an Emirates A300. It's a Eurofighter. The Eurofighter's taxi on the grass, a KLM 73 and an A300 as well. So what I like about the ILS, you can actually switch this over to track ground speed. Look, you've got your ground speed 27 knots, so going quite fast, but 30 knots at my operator is the maximum speed on a taxiway. Engine's quiet, you spot on. Might turn it up slightly then. Can't hear the aircraft. Okay.
Takeoff Alpha hold because after the taxi Airbus 300
Giving way to the Airbus A300 once he's ahead, will taxi, continue taxi hold point Golf 09 Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. Someone's in the old INI builds. Bretton Hopkins Gaming, I finally caught a stream live, not just watching replays. You should start Alpaca Airways Cargo. Like, how many airliners have cargo? I know. Alpaca Airways Cargo Division. Look, even painted over the windows. Well, Jamlin has, one of the members. Thanks again, Jamlin. So I guess some guys don't quite have the Orbex scenery because there's aircraft flying everywhere. We'll do the before takeoff checklist shortly. Well, Emirates used to have an Airbus A300, Andrea. I think Emirates, one of their first passenger aircraft was an A300. Maybe I don't have the correct livery, so that it's ball match for Emirates, not sure. So we're actually going to taxi to Golf full length here. Eurofighter's going via the hotel intersection, which is there.
World Express 2871 over to Tower 1.
So it's actually World Express as his call sign.
24 decimal 0, what's the social fantasy CCM?
Paul Shoesmith, we have the Alpaca INI builds. I know we'll have the livery for it already. So as soon as we're headed over to Tower, we'll do the before takeoff checklist.
Alpaca Nav Golf Alpha contact Tower 124.0.
Tower 124.0. Thanks to ATC, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha Bite. Excellent. So we'll just hold it here, wait for the aircraft to depart. Now, I think for some reason my brakes activate the parking brake, but I'm not sure why that is. So over to Tower. I feel like I was going to be doing something else. What have I forgotten here? Yeah, before takeoff checklist, that was it. So, why is that? Oh, here, just picking something on the background there. There we are. So, let's do the before takeoff checklist. So, config we checked. Flaps we have 15 with the green light. Stab trim set for departure. There we are. That's what we do. Checklist. Look, wing. Now we're in trim. Would have been able to rotate, and the nose would have been coming up at 80 knots. So, stab trim set as well for departure. So takeoff briefing, the air conditioning and pressurization panel has been set by the engineer, and the V-speeds are set for departure. I think it was 132, 132, and what was V2? V2 was 144 knots. And the Sinter Daventry 4 Papa, straight ahead 2 miles, right turn, track 134. At 5 DME from India Echo Mike Whiskey, make a right turn inbound to Honley. Stop climb flight level 90 set here on the altitude select here. It's NADP 1 departure in East Midlands, so we'll bug up at 3,000 feet. We'll maintain V2 plus 20, which will be around 160, we're in 165 knots. There we are. There's no passengers or cabin, so they're all secure. We're ready for departure. We'll check in now. East Midlands Tower, good afternoon. Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, Golf on runway 09 are ready for departure. Perfect, so we've checked in with him. Awesome stuff, guys. 770 of you watching. That's a lot for a mid-afternoon UK stream on a Wednesday. Guys, I hope you're doing very well. If you're enjoying watching a 737 captain attempting to fly the FlyJSim 727, don't forget to smash the thumbs up as well. Subscribe to stay up to date with the content. We are at the whole point runway. That's for the Eurofighter. Yeah, so taking off East Midlands 09, be routing all the way to Milan Bergamo. 2 hours, all conventional navigation. Hopefully no issues. Via Golf, line per weight runway 09 and roger departure head Alpaca 9 at Golf Alpha. Judge Japan, thank you very much, O'Neill Rodriguez, for the 100 donation. Will you make any flights to the Dominican Republic? Absolutely. Love to go to the Dominican Republic one day. Marianne's bawling her eyes out. Lights on, strobes, Channix. APU's off. We need a bit more thrust here. It's a bit uphill. Transponder to TARA. Weather radar can come on as well. That's down here. System on. So everything's set here. Transponder to TARA. Strobes on. Just waiting for a takeoff clearance. Runway 09 clear takeoff. Alpaca 9 at Golf Alpha. Oh no, I've been so distracted by my fumble that I've misaligned runway 09. There we are. Guys, anyway, banter aside, get your togas in chat. Japan Airways, absolutely. And we're all ready to go. Right, pointing in the right direction. So there's no timer on this aircraft. We'll make a note of the time for departure. So airborne or pushing toga at 15:57 Zulu. Off we go to Milan Bergamo. There we are. Engines are all stabilised. Looking good. And now let's set takeoff thrust. Clean those windows. It's the 727 cargo division. Of course we're not cleaning the windows. There we are. Takeoff thrust set. So quiet because we're set about 40 metres ahead of the engines. Light forward pressure on the control column. Checked. Release that forward pressure. There's V1. Rotate hand off the thrust lever. 2 to 2.5 degrees per second. And we are airborne. Pulse rate of climb, gears coming up. And we'll maintain around 164 knots. V2 plus 20 and trim. Oh, amazing. Unicom 122.8, Alpaca 9 at Golf Alpha. Thanks to the ATC, bye bye. Perfect, so we're going to wait for 2 miles, going to maintain track, maintaining 164 knots. Just show you on the chart, no cheating either. You can see there's the aircraft. I'll turn it off there. There's 2 DME, so we're going to make that right turn now to track 134, okay? Track 134. Still maintaining 164 knots. Oh, I'm going to get this radio panel. It's been so long without having it. So there's heading 134 coming up, 120. There's around 134. There's 3,000 feet above air drone level, so we're going to bug up. So we're already bugged up, so all I'm going to do is lower the nose to around 5 degrees, so we're doing just under 1,000 feet per minute, and then we'll track the flaps. So there's flaps to 5, trimming nose down. Waiting now till 5 DME. Okay, there's flaps 1. Or flaps 2, sorry, there's no flaps 1 in the 727. And flaps up. And we'll accelerate now to 250 knots. Still hand flying, of course. We're on this track segment here, so we're now waiting for 5 DME to show you where the aircraft is. There you go. So there's 5 DME. We're now going to make that right turn. So the radial should start coming in on this side here. Coming up to 250 knots as well. Into cloud, so proper IMC now. Trimming nose down as we accelerate. Oh, hold on. I know why it's not coming alive. I need to flick over. So here we are, intercepting the ILS. Keep lowering that nose. Just let the nose come up there. Approaching flight level 90, intercepting the radial. Thank you very much to Gert Jangkok for the £2.71. Very kind of you, sir. So I'm just going to roll out a little bit here just to get back onto that radial. Trimming nose down. I'll get some automation in here, make my life a little bit easier. Match the heading first. We're going to level off at flight level 90 initially, so heading select, engage, arm, heading select, IS hold, and then we're going to start bringing that thrust back now, and we'll actually engage nav lock. There we are, so 4 locks engaged. We're now tracking on the 220 inbound to Honolulu. Aircraft is going to level off at flight level 90, and once we're leveled off here at flight level 90, we'll take a big deep breath, and then we'll do the after takeoff checklist. Everything happens so quickly here in an aircraft like this. Your workload's very, very high. So just to show you, we're now established on the 220 inbound, so 040 radial inbound to Honolulu, and we're going to wait until we're 19 miles away here. So when this says 19, just going to bring that speed back as well, bring the thrust back so we don't accelerate. Once we're at 19 DME, we'll make a left turn to intercept the 339 inbound Daventry. So we're 25, we should be about here. Turn on the little aeroplane icon. There you go. So everything's working. God, this aircraft is so fast. Flight level 90, look, just bring that thrust back as well a little bit, just to maintain 250. Thank you very much to ICRI 0002. My goodness, here we go.
Let me see if I got this one right. The old tanks had reverse capabilities and the modern ones missed that feature. We should be progressing, not going backwards, my dear Joel friend.
Let me see if I've got this all right. The old tanks had reverse capabilities and the modern ones missed the feature. What's that referring to, ICRI? The reverse function on the 7.2? But are you talking about the 7.2 in JAL? I'm ICRI 0002. You know when I'm streaming, my mental... Oh my goodness. Yeah, nothing to see here. Level bus, sorry. 1013. Don't forget to set standard. Yeah. Only busted level. That only requires a little bit of brief explaining to the local authorities. Everything is going out the window today. Oh dear. Right, standard set. There we are. Nothing to see. ATC is not online anyway. There you go. Flight level 90. You're going to have to come back with me on that one, ICRI 0002. But thank you very much for the donation nonetheless. Right, now we're level at flight level 90, and because I'm not concentrating 19 DME, we're meant to make that turn, so we've missed the turn slightly. And you'll see there... oh, actually, this is saying we're not too bad, but... Oh, heading select, hold on. So let's go heading select. Give me 2 seconds, guys, because as I said, the workload is very high. Let's go 16.4 now. 16.4 is the radial inbound to Daventry. So we've overshot it slightly. 159. There we go. So all we've got to do is get back onto that, and speed's going. Look at the speed now, 250. This is such a hard aircraft to fly. Anyway, we should probably continue to climb. So yeah, we've overshot it slightly. We'd be about here. There you go. So we're just going to come back onto that 159 radial. I'll use heading select initially, but as there's no ATC, what I'm going to do is go straight up to our cruise level, which is flight level 350. That way I don't have to worry about my speed so much, because I can leave it in out hold. Let me just put this to around one. There we go. Mode 350 and IS hold. And now we can advance the thrust levers, and the aircraft will pitch to maintain initially 250 knots. So it might descend slightly. That's because we're a little bit low on speed. Thank you very much, Ian Paris, for the €10 and for your continued support. It's very kind, sir. Cheers from the KLM in front of you. Understanding the ground controller was certainly something. Have a good one, boss. Thank you very much, Ian. So it wasn't just me. I think he just had a slight mic issue, bless him. But we got in there in the end anyway. But thank you very much for the continued support. Wicked. So we're now inbound to Daventry. I'm going to engage here. Navlock again. There's Vorlock. And we're also going to go here to arm the altitude so the aircraft doesn't level off there at flight level. Doesn't go flight level 350. We're above flight level 100, so we're going to do 300 knots. We still have to do the after takeoff checklist and the pre-cruise checks as well. Creature Flow 2, I was referring to the power back. So neat pulling your leg, obviously. I got you. Ikri. So you said the old tanks had reverse capabilities and the modern ones missed that feature. Yes, now I get you. Yes, the old beasts, we can obviously power back here. At Alpaca Airways, we do whatever we can to save costs, so we don't need any pushback crew. That's great. Thanks, buddy. So you'll see, look, it looks like we've already overshot Daventry, but we haven't. That's because it's not to scale on the chart, so be careful with that. We are still inbound here to Daventry. You can see here, look, the RMI is pointing on the correct radial. So all looking good. Right, better do the after takeoff checklist. Gear 2 off. Order brake can come off as well. There's no start switches. Let's carefully check the air conditioning and pressurization panel. Diff pressure's increasing, 4.5 psi, cabin altitude slowly climbing, as is the cabin altitude at 400 feet per minute, so everything's as we'd expect it to be. So that's all set. That's it, and we'll do the pre-cruise checks now. Fuel, lights coming off, APU's off, pressurization we've just checked. Leave the passengers in. There we are. Pre-cruise checks complete, and we're now going to revert to INS navigation, so we're routing to waypoint number 1. Let's just briefly go to heading select here, match the heading. 9 DME from Daventry, which is also the first waypoint programmed here. Heading select. And switch this here to GPS. You'll notice that the light here will go to GPS. There we are, GPS mode, and we need to route now waypoint change. Again, direct to waypoint number 1. That's aligned it up, and then we can go back to Navlock, and there we are. We're on. It's called GPS, but it's not. It's INS. We're using INS navigation now to route to Daventry, and I can actually breathe now because we've got everything done there. Lovely. Right, no one on VATSIM at the moment, unfortunately. I am still actually monitoring tower, so we'll go over to 122.8. There we go. That was a very busy departure. Not only did I confess that I worked for Japan Airways, throwing lots of curveballs for, very busy. So a few mistakes I made there. Initial climb out was good. ATC then contacted me there. Then obviously my workload piled up. Biggest one was not setting standard. So obviously the workload's so high, I don't have a little reminder on my PFD here to say to set standard. I'm busy talking to you, busy talking to ATC, busy hand flying the aircraft, making sure we're navigating correctly. 5 DME, made that turn. All was looking hunky-dory, and then I just missed that initial turn. So at 19 DME at Honley, I think we got to 18 DME, so Honley was there. It wasn't 18, so we overshot slightly, but now just about to fly over the top of Daventry, and we're now going to be routing to waypoint number 2, which was, looking at my flight plan printed right in front of me, is Bensu. We're currently into the waypoint called Bensu. We're airborne at 15:57, so I can work out our ETA later on with the flight. Lovely. Greetings from Norway, says Bjorna. Good day to you, sir. Hope you're doing very well. And we'll turn some nice gentle music on in the background. Aircraft to me personally sounds very loud, so I was a bit worried that you guys couldn't hear me properly over the aircraft, but I think you did say it sounds pretty quiet. Lovely. Wilhelm Glanzer, flight time, 2 hours from airborne. We've been airborne now for about 10 minutes, so I'd say we're about an hour and 50 to go. Estimated time en route, very well spotted long cap. Bear in mind that is as the crow flies at our present speed. You'll notice that time will decrease as we quicker than it should do. But certainly a good enough way of explaining where we are. Right, what I'd like to do is actually, now I've learned how to, is get... I'll open up Navigraph charts here and show you where we're flying to. So flights, active flights, load from SimBrief. Can't hear the aircraft in the cockpit. Ah, so it's very quiet in here, is it?
50, 40, 30, 20.
Oh no, here we go guys. Oh no, Lizzie.
And you said you wouldn't fly my race horses to Tokyo because you don't fly there. One feels more betrayed than the time Philip sold Corgi number 14 on eBay because he thought I wouldn't. Notice one of the little missing.
Thank you very much, Queen Elizabeth II, for your £5 donation. Very kind of you. I'm very sorry. We did discuss the fact that you wanted to get your thoroughbreds to Tokyo, but at the moment we don't actually have any active routes through Alpaca Airways in Tokyo. We do have a King Air, which does the occasional tour flight, but yet to position our cargo exclusive 727 there. Thank you very much, Lizzie Windsor, for your continued support. Very, very kind of you. I hope you're doing well. My days. Everything is quiet apart from your voice. Oh, listen to it. That's often what Mariana says to me. Why is it so quiet in this aircraft? See, for me personally, the aircraft is very loud. It's very loud, but that's not coming through on Streamlabs. How's that for you? Is that okay? I hope so. Anyway, Navigraph, let me show you the charts here. There we are. So these are all the waypoints I've programmed. Currently routing towards Bensu, which is obviously not based off conventional navigation. There's no VOR I can use here, which is why I've loaded it into the INS. But when we get to Bensu, we're going to make a left turn, flying overhead Biggin. We haven't actually programmed that waypoint. We're actually routing towards an NDB, the Son Inglevier NDB. So what we can tune is Biggin, as we are flying over it on the Quebec 70 airway, and there we are going from Quebec 70 to Lima 15. So the Biggin VOR look is 15.1. So we'll get rid of that here. And there's no point tuning it to Nav 1 because Nav 1 is now synced to the INS. So I'm going to have to put 15.1 here on box 2. And that way, oops, we've got a DME here from Biggin, but obviously the INS is, the HSI here is slave to the INS now, so there's no point tuning it to Nav 1. So you can see here. Helps if I actually tune it on here. 15.1 is 15.1. We're not quite inbound. The next course is 112, so if I set this to 112, there you are, you can see the aircraft turning. So we can back it up with conventional navigation. There we are, so you can see the radials coming in. The 292 radial inbound to Biggin. Obviously using INS, but we can back that up with raw data, which is quite cool. Passing 26,000 feet, the aircraft then we're going to maintain climb speed around 300 knots until we get to Mach decimal 80. Once we get to Mach decimal 80, we're going to pitch to maintain that speed. Oh, I do need to clean this windscreen, it's filthy. Your opinion about the IXEG 733, says Wilhelm? Yeah, nice add-on. There's a few things here and there, but I know they're back active and updating that again now. But yeah, the immersion's great. I love the sounds of that aircraft. I think the FMC's got a few bits and pieces missing, but yeah, nice payware aircraft. Dominique, can you please fly once to I have no idea where that is, Dominique, but we've got the whole world to explore, especially in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Well, not it's called 2020, but Microsoft Flight Simulator, I think, for some VFR jollies would be great fun, but this is still where you want to be for detailed commercial aircraft. It's still explained. What is the cruising altitude, one big flappy boy? We're going to 35,000 feet today, which is the optimum altitude. Our climb thrust is around 95% here. Obviously, there's no auto throttle, so I've had to set that manually. We're not super heavy, but it's such a sluggish aircraft, really slow to climb at higher altitudes. Is the windscreen icy? No, this is just grubby. Just needs a good clean look. Engineers just... Alpaca Airways engineers have just not been on the ball. Say again, Marina. My voice myself. My voice.
Streamlabs.
What do you mean Streamlabs? No. What do you mean? This sounds like I'm low.
No, Streamlabs, the person that talks.
Oh, the alert box, Mariana. The alert box is low. Oh.
Streamlabs, I don't call it Streamlabs normally, do I?
My secretary has come in here. Oh no, I'm in trouble. Streamlabs. Oh right, so the automatic pinger's talking low. Oh my goodness, how do I fix that? Oh no. Well, I'll try and fix that. I think it's probably the audio with the FlyJSim is a little louder. FlyJSim top of descent calculations, old school, 30 miles for every 10,000 feet. That's the 3 times stable. Doesn't matter if you're in a 737, 727. It works really, really well. And I'll be using it today. Works really well. Identity crisis. Are you a real pilot? Everything is low. You are fine. My goodness. Honestly, in my ears, guys. In my ears, the game is so loud that no clue why it's changed. I've not changed any of the settings. Let me have a little look here. Right, what I'm going to do is turn this up here, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. How's that? Is that a bit louder now? Or too loud? I'll turn this up more, but I'm going to struggle to hear any VATSIM. And look, you can see how high it is when you know where I'm usually streaming and have it much lower. And do you take wind into account? You should do VNAV speed. Yeah, so every 10 knot of tailwind, take an additional nautical mile to slow down. Works well. Yes, that's increased. Perfect. It's now very high, so I've got to try and remember to turn that back down. How's that? Out of 10, the sound now. Is that good for the older audio? But in my ears, guys, so loud, really. Is something out of whack in the audio's Windows control panel? Possibly. Oh yeah, actually X system's quite quiet here. Let me just turn that up. Oh crikey. Now how's that? Is that okay? It's very loud in my ears now, that the entire aircraft. I'm going to struggle to hear anyone on VATSIM. I generally I don't touch anything there, but 9 out of 10, 7. Right, anyway, this will be loud. Nice little stapler view. Matt, it's been fine for you all along. Well, I'm not going to touch anymore. lovely. That's quieter. I can't even hear the music because it's so loud. I'm not going to worry about it. Martin R, hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Nice to see the steam gauges again. Yeah, it's great fun and very rewarding getting back into this aircraft. Oh look, I've just realised something as well. Now I've been maintaining 300 knots since 10,000 feet. I need to start bringing that speed back because I don't want to be going much quicker than decimal 80. So bring the speed back now. The aircraft will pitch up because it is pitching to maintain indicated airspeed, but as soon as I'm back at point 8 I'm going to select Mach hold, so it pitches to maintain a Mach number. Commander Jenna Hofer in question, in the 727 is there an indication of the wind speed and direction? You can off the INS, because that's based off your initial present position, and then it knows exactly where you are. So if you go to wind, there you go, 125 diagonal 43 knots. We're doing about 0.8 now. Yeah, I reckon so. So we're now going to go to Mach hold, so we don't have to keep bringing the indicated airspeed back. Anish, what is this game? We're in X-Plane 11. There's music, exactly. There is music, and it's so loud, because for me personally, X-Plane right now is very loud. There you go, can you hear that? Actually, you only need to ask once, not 70 times. I think if you scroll down slightly, if you're on a PC, it'll even tell you. And it's also in the video title, I hope. Oh no, it's not actually. I remember because I put the whole FlyJSim flown by Captain East Midlands Milan Bergamo, so I couldn't fit it. FlyJSim game? I know, that will upset a lot of people. Simulator. Oh, unfortunately, there is London control, but it's only a lower sector, so we're outside of his jurisdiction. So it looks like we'll be on Unicom for a while. We have some airspace over Belgium, and hopefully someone in Milan will come there. Your voice volume is too high, is it, Saran? Thank you. Maybe if I just turn everything down. Honestly, guys, in my ear, it's so loud, so loud. I just turned the volume down there, but that shouldn't turn my personal volume down, not for you. Captain Monster, can you tell us, please, how did you win your first game in Among Us as an imposter? By just pure treachery, and I just led all you guys down a false path. Occasionally with the members, you know, to say thanks, as you well know, I have a private run Discord, and I do occasionally do the odd little bit of fun stream there, but I joined some of them on playing this new massive hit game Among Us, which I have in there, and I was the imposter, and I beat them the first time being the imposter. Brilliant. It's fine now, only music is a bit low, music is good. I'm just gonna pause my mic and listen to my own stream to see how it sounds, because I'm playing it in front of me. Give me just 5 seconds, guys. Oh, I just listened in there, not too bad. Oh.
Testing the sound, is it loud?
Nubik, thanks a lot for the £5. That was the most... Oh jeez, you should have done that. Testing the sound, is it loud? No, it's not Nubik. My goodness, that was very, very funny. Thank you very much for the continued support. It would seem it's broken, or something's amiss here. Approaching flight level 350 here. Let's see if I can fix this in the background here. Source. else? General settings, moderated tools. You've got to do it for each individual one. Well, I've not changed any of this. Oh. So that's done. Oh, don't check your Discord. That was my Discord, guys. Sorry about that. You know, PCs and myself don't get on very well, which is why I quite enjoy flying a 727. Right, anyway, flight level 350. Slowly bring that power back to maintain Mach decimal 80. Don't need to bring it back too much. We're around 90% N1 initially. Airborne at 57, so it took us nearly 25 minutes to get up here. Ditch the charts. Currently inbound to waypoint number 3. Waypoint number 3 is the Son Ingles NDB. Oh no, sorry, I can bring up Navigraph charts. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Just need to reopen it. So here we are, over the English Channel. There's Dover and Calais. Last time we crossed this bit of airspace was probably in that electrical plane. And then inbound to the NDB, and then we're going to make a right turn inbound to Leicester. See if we can see the English Channel outside. A bit cloudy today. Yeah, unfortunately, not much to be seen. Hope Smith, hi Captain, hey chat. We making good time? We're getting there. A little bit later airborne than I'd hoped. A few issues with ATC. The departure was a little bit scrappy from myself, but we got it there safely, which is the important thing. The only thing we managed to do is level bust, and what else was it? Can't remember. No, not too many mistakes so far. I fixed the alert thing. It should be louder now. Again, I'm gonna go jump into another aircraft soon, and everything will be way too loud. But yeah, I'm not sure why that's the case. Turn myself down slightly now as well. I'm just having a little fiddle with the sound here, guys. Lovely, Mike. Thank you for so much for showing that information. Actually, hold on, Mike. If you need to do that, let me help you out here. Hold on. There you go. Listerman, you might see the contraventors down there if you look closely. Yeah, I know. The wing had about a wingspan of 2,000 meters. How is Jim handling the 727? Not well, Oliver. Not well. Cool, blimey. Someone set off a nuclear bomb outside the aircraft. It's so bright in here. My goodness. Wilhelm says, "Oh, please try the Alpaca Novia 24. It's the right aircraft for you, and for Alpaca Regional Air Charters, Wilhelm, the Tupolev Tu-154 is about as Russian as I can go there.
30,
Is that better?
20, 10.
I've turned it up. Thanks a lot, Boz, for the 5. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you for the continued support as a member as well.
In Hungary and would like some eggs and ketchup.
So quiet.
Could you please advise of the best way to scramble them?
Oh, Boz. I don't know if you guys heard that. I'll read it for you. It's still very quiet, even though I just turned it up. I'm hungry and would like some egg and ketchup. Could you please advise the best way to scramble them? Boz, are you referring to the time a few days ago I shared on Discord my attempt at making scrambled eggs, and I managed to get all of it on the worktop surface? If you are, the proverbial middle finger to you. But thank you very much. The ketchup pie can help me. Just put it on the plate. Needs to go up a little bit more. Can't Mariano, look at stream delay. It's about a 20-second lag between what I say and what you guys hear. So there we are, over the Saint-Inglevert NDB. We're now routing to waypoint Lesdo on airway Upper Lima 15. And again, just going to have to play with these sounds in the background. I have no clue what's causing the volume issues. I said that what I hear in my headphones isn't what you hear. It's very difficult to get the volumes all sorted. I've turned it all up more. So the alert box, you have to do for each individual alert. That's right, plane. Oh my goodness! Will Bewley's purchased a phone case. Gotta keep the phone safe. He's bought the remove before flight phone case. My goodness, Will Bewley, thank you very much. Very, very kind of you. Well, even the birch pinger's quiet.
50, 40,
Now how's that?
30,
That's at 100%. It was at 20%. That's very kind of you. 79 airtime, face to £5. Concord episode inspired me to live stream a charity air ambulance delivery flight. King Air 200 from Kansas to Aberdeen, raising money for them. That's fantastic. 79 airtime. Thank you very much for your donation. And yeah, I can't believe how much money we raised for the Concord charity, which was nearly 2 weeks ago now. I think it was nearly £5,000 for gift aid. So good for you guys. Go check out 79 airtime. I'm sure he's going to do a great stream for a good cause there. And as mentioned on our channel now, we have now a permanently set up Just Giving page where every 10,000 subscribers we'll be doing a stream purely for charity, and then we might do a few little bits in between as well. I've already been speaking to a few other people about doing certain things, some other group flights with some other streamers about doing some charity stuff there. So thank you very much for everyone that's contributed 2 weeks ago, and good for you 79 airtime for stream for a good cause there. Well done to you. Flight deck and chicken, very good. Joshua Chin, wow, so it's called Upper Lima, not Uniform Lima. Yeah, I mean, when I started flying the 737 10 years ago, showing you the charts here, I remember just saying to the instructor, this is my first time in the 737, the right-hand seat, we're reading every sector, we have to read the route, check it's in the FMC correctly, and I said Uniform Lima. I said no, it's Upper Lima. So the U is abbreviated for upper, for the upper airways, you see. So yeah, you don't say Uniform Lima, it's Upper Lima 15. Why the story behind that? No idea, but anyway, we've always said that. Okay, so yeah, an aircraft like this, make sure you're constantly monitoring your speed here. So look, N1's creeped back to around 85%. I want around 90, and if you look at our speed there, it was creeping back there. I want to be doing about 0.80, we're doing about 0.77. So you just have to keep monitoring everything in this aircraft. Obviously, the autopilot's maintaining altitude for us, the INS is navigating for us, but your airspeed, you're very much direct control over there. Increase 0002, only 3,000 more subscribers, will be organising another fundraiser. I know. We did that combined one because, Microsoft Flight Simulator, the channel went a bit giddy, and everyone got I did one stream, we got 5,000 subscribers in one stream. It was absolutely crazy. It's kind of stagnated now. What I found is, I think a lot of people got very excited with Microsoft Flight Simulator and then left, and the growth has been pretty stagnant recently, so as I always stress, don't forget to keep subscribing, guys. Well on the way to 100,000. Incredible. And I think this time last year we were not 30, were we? I don't even know. Amazing. Thank you everyone. I have to thank all you guys for that. I think I speak to you like cats. Don't mind cats, prefer dogs. Andy Moose 123, can we hear the wipers please? Well, you wouldn't turn them on a firstly, not aimed at your speed. Speed shouldn't affect them, they shouldn't blow off, but on a dry windscreen you'd never turn the wipers, but just because you've asked such a wonderful question. Oh no, hold on, that's the order brake. Very similar place knob. There you go. That's probably knackered the window. And that's actually what happens if you wipe with the window dry, you get these awful streak marks there. Duke, turn down your headset, so am I still too loud? Am I it's still too low, that's probably the issue. I've moved the mic slightly further away from my mouth. We're now about to waypoint number 4, so actually, whilst we're at it, before I forget, we need to reprogram just a couple more waypoints. Not many, because we got to waypoint number 9 on the INS, which was waypoint Rippers, which would be overhead Switzerland at that point. Or just before Switzerland, sorry. And we need to update just 2 more. So waypoint number 1, which is Odina, which is the beginning of the arrival into Bergamo. So the star we're flying is going to be an Odina star. The 1 Foxtrot for now. So we'll program that as waypoint number 1. So north 46063. Insert and then east 8399 008 39.9. Insert waypoint number 2, which is going to be the Bergamo VOR, which is the beginning of the procedural approach into Bergamo, but we'll be on the VOR by then, but we'll tune it just in case I have issues with the VOR. So that'll be waypoint 2 north, and that is 4542. Insert east 9426. So you got your degrees, minutes and seconds. 0942.6. Insert. There we are. So waypoint 1 and 2 programs, and that should take us all the way to Bergamo. But we will switch to purely conventional navigation as we get closer to Bergamo. Right over the middle of France now, approaching Belgium. Actually, I don't think we're flying Belgium today. There we are, geographically. Yeah, we're going to be flying all over France, actually, overhead Switzerland. And here is our destination, Milan. Bergamo is the secondary airport that take primarily cargo traffic. Touchwood, we'll still have a bit of sun, and it'll be a beautiful flight descent over the Alps. And this is why I chose this sector. 2 reasons. One, it has a nice procedural approach into Bergamo, and 2, we can look into the importance of maintaining your altitude and descent, because you're going to really respect your minimum altitudes into northern Italy, because you obviously have the Alps here, so it's very important that you're fully aware of your position and your altitude at all times. Paul Shoesmith, can't wait for your FlyJSim Boeing. Thank you so much. Yeah, Mariana said she made the custom one for you, so thank you very much as well for supporting the channel by getting some merch. That's really cool, thank you. James Thompson, I guess we're all out of washer fluid then. I mean, we don't have washer fluid. If you had washer fluid in a commercial airline, it would freeze. So we only use the wipers when it is raining. Luke Bailey, you'd like a wind view. There you go. We're silent back here. Very unrealistic. You can see, look, one of the tiles hasn't loaded correctly. As I've mentioned before, I personally think Ortho in X-Plane looks. Oh no, I think we're going to miss the nice to everything else so dark. But yeah, I really like the look of Ortho in X-Plane at high altitude compared to Microsoft Flight Simulator. But Microsoft Flight Simulator, they're pushing out updates so quickly. I'm really impressed what the team are doing to fix issues. I know some of the things they're fixing are breaking other things, but it's going to be great. The Microsoft Flight Simulator, the team are so dedicated, I think, to making an incredible stream. But I still love all of these classic jetliners in X-Plane. I can't let go of it at all. Zebo, it's not classic, but it's what I fly. FlyJSim I love. The ICG. I haven't flown so much because of the mod, but there's so many great aircraft. I want to do another Concorde stream as well, which would be awesome. Yes, we've checked the wipers. We've done the wipers. Yeah, if you play the stream back, Saran by about 5 minutes. There's a few things I've noticed certain people like in the flight sim community when it comes to a high quality third-party aircraft. Does it have a flushable toilet? Do the wipers work? Do the wings flex? I mean, these seem to be on the top 5 things that people want to see on a third-party aircraft. Not does it fly accurately, or does the FMC work correctly? Love it. Top ski, of course, yes, the Tupolev, the feeless Tupolev, which we've flown a few times. Of course, I have to mention the Airbus, the toeless Airbus, which is, of course, and the Flight Factor. I've not used the Flight Factor Airbus, but the toeless is great. The 757 we've flown is awesome too. Yes, sorry, there is rain propellant fluid. You're right. Yeah, not on the NG, and I think the 400 and the classic 200s had it too, but not on the NG. Certainly not on ours. So much good stuff coming out in Expo 11 soon as well. Rotate MD11 I've been seeing. Obviously we forgot to mention the Rotate MD80, which we streamed in a couple of times as well. The BAE just flight BAE 146, can't wait to stream in that too. Awesome. Chris King, good morning from Western Canada. Good morning to you, sir. FlyJSim toilets are a high priority. FlyJSim, you have your priorities, right? I mean, yes, obviously in this cargo variant there's no cabin mould and stuff, but do we care? Do I care? Not at all. And I've been looking on your Discord. I obviously keep a very low profile than most other public Discords, but I've been looking at your dash. Is it the 400? You're making, which is really cool. That looks. I know you have one already, but your updated one looks really, really like it's going to be something promising. Very popular aircraft in the simming community too. One big flat boy. Hello, I'm back. I just ate your dinner. Fantastic. I hope you had a great meal. Awesome. Anyway, 5 miles to run until we get to. It's nice to show you the Navigraph charts here. Now I've got them all open. Here's Lesdo. So you'll see the INS sequence here from waypoint 3 to 4, 0.5. It's a decimal abbreviated point of time, so that's 30 seconds. 0.4 minutes. Oh, sorry, I've just realised you don't have the INS at all in your screen. But yes, you'll see the little sequence now, 2 miles, 1 mile. There's Lesdo, and there we are. Sequence now, waypoint 4 to 5. Now we're about to the next waypoint, which is the Chalon VOR. Well, it's actually not the Chalon VOR. You can see it's the bubbly waypoint, but Chalon VOR is just before that. So we can tune that. Look, VR DME 11165. I'll show you how to ident it as well. So you'll see the RMI, so RMI needle 2 is pointing towards the VOR. You obviously have the first officer's HSI slave to VOR 2, so we can align that, and the INS should match roughly what the VOR is saying. But we need to make sure before we actually technically use it to navigate, what you should do is ident it, make sure what you're using is correct here. So you see here you have the Morse code, so Charlie Alpha Victor dash dot dash dot dot dash dot 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 dash, and that's on nav 2. So you can listen here, just as with the real 727, switch this to nav 2. There you go, that was good timing. So that's Charlie Alpha Victor, and you should also listen to the DME as well, because they're two different, but the same frequency, but two different idents. So it'll be a higher pitch one for Charlie Alpha Victor. It's every 25-30 seconds. That's not Avitab, this is Navigraph charts. There you go, so we got the ident for the DME and the VOR. So we're satisfied it is Charlie Alpha Victor, and then we can use that as a form of navigation. So we have the INS slave to nav 1, the VOR is slave to nav 2 on HSI, but we're obviously the autopilot's navigating using the using INS. CFTV data looks hella realistic, I'll give you that. Yeah, the quality of some of the add-ons in desktop simulators, I've been an advocate for many of the developers. They are so good, and as I've stressed before, flying an aircraft like this as a rated airline pilot, as an ATP holder, it's really beneficial. I cannot stress how beneficial this is to navigate using conventional navigation. I would be so much more rusty if I hadn't practiced or streamed flying like this, and you know, it's great as an instrument trainer. I used FSX and the Coronado Seneca 11 years ago when I was doing my instrument rating, and it was great. Really was great. There are obviously some limitations, but they are good training devices. Mike, I'm new to flight sims. These guys are real pros at what they do. I'm learning slowly at their craft. Is that me or FlyJSim's development? Oh, me. But no, yeah, the guys that I know FlyJSim are spending. I mean, developing the aircraft takes years, and it takes years to develop an aircraft like this. The Zebo mod, as you well know, isn't finished yet. It's I don't think it ever will be. There's always little bits of tweaking here and there. It's very hard to replicate an accurate aircraft into a simulator. Is that a plugin for the app in-game, buy and one? Yeah, it's called Navigraph Charts. I'm actually using it as an overlay as a separate application. So, yeah, you have to pay a subscription for it, but it is worthwhile if you want to be taking your simming seriously, because you get up-to-date charts, so I'd recommend it. So if I want to be a pilot and I need to know what is the SOS code, Sierra Oscar Sierra, it would be helpful. 3 dots, 3 dashes and 3 dots. That's the one everyone knows though. Tom 737, hi Captain, what frequency on? I'm currently on Unicom, but no ATC unfortunately. But we do have Bergamo ground online. Obviously, you know, we do VATSIM events where we can, because it really increases the immersion, but one of the members did say chase up and see if you can get any ATC later, which would be cool, but not the end of the world, because we are going to be flying a procedural approach regardless. FlyJSim says these things are multi-year developments. Sadly, rotating's been 4 years. We're approaching 3. Hot start 2. FS Lab 7. Yeah, a lot of work. I can imagine needs to go into these things, and that's where I'm absolutely no use. I mean, I have no experience with computers whatsoever. So when I provide feedback to people like Zebo, I can only say, look, you do this, the aircraft does that. You turn that on, does this. I can't even begin to imagine what amount of work where you need to start. Yes, Joe Drage, happy birthday to you as well, and thank you very much for popping in on your birthday too. Ripe old age of 23, correct? Jason Turney, where are we flying over? France at the moment. We're just east of Paris, look. Pretty much overhead Rams. And then we're making a left turn slightly more southeasterly towards Switzerland shortly. Quite hard to know, obviously in FMC and airport codes where you are, but when you're flying an aircraft like this, you'd either have an iPad chart, or obviously with the ND or the airport code, so you can work it out that way. Tom 737, you're in MD11 closing up on you, same route. Interesting. Behave yourself. Oh, I think I can see you on... I can see someone going to Bergamo behind me, but quite a distance behind. I've got the VATSIM map up on my phone. Plain old Ben's in the house as well. Hope you're doing well. Go guys, go check out one of the members who also has a good YouTube channel. He's an X-8 pilot. Has a new exciting role, but again, I'll keep my mouth shut, Plain old Ben. But very interested to hear about your progress with that. And hope you're doing well. Awesome. Jason Turney, that's very cool. Happy birthday soon, one big. I thought you were referring to Joe's birthday, but sorry, one big clap. Your birthday's on November the 26th. Very good. Can you guys hear the music? I can barely hear it myself. I should turn up a tad. Yeah, everything's a bit, audio's slightly off with the stream yesterday. So a bit of an external view of the sun setting. All this lovely ortho, which we've not even been seeing because A, it's been cloudy, and B, it's going to be dark by the time we get to Milan. I need to put you on. Hold on, I'm going to put you on sellotape real view, guys. Hold on. Relax. Oh, guys, I'm very sorry. My phone's ringing. So just give me 2 seconds, guys. Guys, so sorry about that. My car was in for a service today, and there was no major problems, but they needed to keep it a little bit longer, which conflicted with the stream, which means unfortunately I can't pick up the car. There you go. I prioritised my streams over having my vehicle. So, but thankfully I am working tomorrow, but not until much later in the evening. So Marianne is going to take me in the morning to pick up my car. But that was the dealership just to say it's ready, and I said I spoke to someone to say I'll pick it up tomorrow. Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, moment I was just about to say the stapler had slipped. Unfortunately, you had a bit of left and down key action there with the replay, but I was struggling to fix it whilst talking on the phone as well. But my apologies, guys, for answering that. But I can see it was the dealer there, probably wondering where's FlyJSim to pick up his car. Thanks, Tobias. Yes, I did call it a stapler cam, but it never actually was a stapler. It was a sellotape reel. Great, so that is waypoint number 5 we just flown over, inbound now to waypoint number 6. And one big flappy boy, what did you call it? It's a Mercedes A-Class. Hugstar 101, was your car getting a 50-hour check? Yeah. All I ever know when the engineers do the 50-hour check is that they vacuum the flight deck. That's as much as I know. The 50 sector check. Oh, big flat boy, do you have a Tesla? I wish. Not right now. Wilhelm, would you fly the Rotate MD-11 when it's released? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm always looking for new aircraft to fly. As we mentioned before, any builds, Concorde we've flown recently. I've got a long list to do, and I am, as we mentioned a few times in the chat, having to go part-time this winter with the COVID pandemic. I mean, I'm just so thankful just to have a flying job. I've got friends that have been made redundant, people I know who can't get a job. It's just horrific. I don't think people quite realise how in trouble the aviation sector is. IATA released an article today to say realistically the rate at which airlines are expending cash, most have about 8.5, 9 months left before that's it. I think I was just reading the EU alone, I don't know if it was the EU worldwide, but airlines received 160 billion in bailout funds to basically prop them up throughout this entire period. But that's all ending soon, and no one's flying. No one's going to be flying. We're coming up towards winter, so who's going to be jumping on an aircraft at the moment? I mean, as a passenger, I'd find it difficult to, unless I absolutely had to, with everything that's going on. It's just... yeah, I don't know. As I've said, I'm thankful that I can keep a job. We're going part-time. We have blocks of unpaid leave, which, if that means I get my job stable, so be it. But yeah, what an incredible time we're living in. I mean, I'm only talking about the aviation sector. I've no doubt many of you in chat here have been affected directly as well. So awful, awful. But I'm a positive guy, as you well know. Just chin up. I'm returning to my route streaming. I love doing every second of it. I love planning this as well.
10.
Thanks a lot, Mark Jackson, for the £2. You got 4 butters in a 737 and a hard landing in an A319. Typical Mark, of course. The one time the Airbus, you know, should be helping you out, giving you a butter landing, which I presumed it did for you. And you go and smash it down. Typical. Thanks a lot, Mark, for the continued support. Avina Smith, do I like temperature inversions? Well, I don't dislike or like them, but they do look visually quite pleasing though. They can obviously trap a layer of humidity and fog, so you get this kind of like it can trap all this pollution and haze and stuff, so it does look quite cool to setting into it, but no, no preference, don't dislike them or like them. Longcat, not sure if I'll be instructing after Christmas, having to take unpaid leave and early finishes, fingers crossed though. Longcat, if I remember rightly, you're an instructor, and I think you popped in before and said that, or you were, I don't know if you were instructing us something. Apologies for not remembering. Trying to remember everything everyone does, but yeah, I mean, obviously you work in the industry, and it's, I mean, there's no other way of putting it. It's we're up, beep, creek without a paddle. You know, that's it. Yeah, exactly, for Kyle. Yeah, I did read this article from my article, or bits of it. It was, it wasn't a great outlook. Super duper. Anyway, how are we progressing? So we're airborne at, let's make a note of the airborne time, didn't we? 15:57 Zulus. Been airborne for nearly an hour, almost halfway. Some fuel checks and things like that. So inbound to waypoint number 5 from 6. So what's my flight plan here? So we're currently inbound to Lovell, from Bubbly to Lovell. Overhead level in just over a minute and a half.
40, 30,
go from there.
20.
Mark Jackson, thanks again for the £2. Very kind, sir. Yeah, it was the Flare. A lot more in Airbus than the 737. Oh no, Mark. So maybe a little bit more. I need to talk to an Airbus guy, and I know obviously V1 Simulations, and there's another guy streaming Airbus, which is called 320sim pilots. You're well in cover for Airbus guys now. I don't know if that check close hold is the same technique in the Airbus. I think it is, but the close, you actually physically fully close the thrust series when it says retard, but on a 7.3 you chop the thrust, and it can, if you're especially low on speed, it can fall out the sky quite quickly. So the idea is you smoothly reduce thrust, so on touchdown you're at idle thrust there, and then when it'll be approach idle, and then when you roll out it'll go to ground idle. Theatres, yeah, absolutely, the theatre industry. A friend of mine works in gigs doing lighting, so he does all the lighting rigs at huge concerts and stuff like that. And he had a small company, well, has a small company, he's still going there, but he had everyone on furlough, but now he's had to really cut back. He's had to actually fire people that work for him. He said, I can't afford it, I've got no work. It's just devastating. Another friend, he does a little bit of acting and stuff, and I haven't spoken to him recently, but he was meant to be at the West End this year. He got a really good part, and yeah, it's just no work. One big flapper, how many inch FPS as we speak? About 33. I seem to be struggling a little bit, mostly due to ortho, but typically I go around 30 to 40. Tom 737 Flyer, my sim crash looks like I won't meet you in fact. So, man, very sorry. Like, it's an absolute bummer. I mean, I've been very. Well, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx it, but I'm usually quite lucky. Abuse, this plane looks complicated. I don't know how old pilots existed. Training, that's all it is. It is complex, but you know, anyone. There's guys out there with no flying experience who can competently move switches around and get this thing from A to B. And obviously, I've just got the background knowledge to fly it. It's a big Seneca at the end of the day. It's a big twin engine prop with an extra engine bolted in the tail. That's all it is. Just goes a bit quicker. Dominic, are you running on a Vulcan? I am. Oh. Right, guys, I don't know if you heard the doorbell. Someone's just rang. I might just have to... I'm so sorry, I might just have to nip out for a minute here. Just give me a minute, guys. So sorry. Alright guys, so I am going to have to just shoot off for 3-4 minutes. I can only apologise. I usually do take a break in the stream, so I'll take my break. It's just that we've had a new bed arrive for our house, so we just want to help the guys get it upstairs. A bit of manoeuvring. Bed deck to sim, whatever you want to call the channel. Knock yourselves out. I'll be just about 4 or 5 minutes. So sorry guys, I'll see you all shortly. Oh, guys, sorry about that. That was interesting. Mariana's unfortunately having to take some pictures because we... hold on, let me just get that here, there and turn this off. We just had a bed delivered, and the guys took the bed upstairs, but they didn't take their shoes off, so got all mud trodden into the carpet. I mean, it's outrageous. I didn't really have much of an argument. I said, look, what about this? Oh, sorry. And then just went off. Oh, great. So yeah, Mariana's taking loads of pictures. I think that's worth noting. Anyway, let's sidetrack the issue we're having in our personal lives and concentrate on the stream. Thankfully, looks like we're still navigating nicely from waypoint 7 to waypoint number 8. Let's have a little look here at Navigraph. Really, guys, not that long to go. So routing now from waypoint 7 to waypoint number 8. So from Lima Uniform Lima, the VOR, which was 6 to shoot off, we didn't tune. We're now inbound to the Hockwold VOR via Natley. So there is Hockwold. So we'll tune up Hockwold on nav 2, 13.2. Go from there. I bet Mariana's pleased. You don't want to go on the wrong side of Mariana. Trust me, it is not worth it. She is not too pleased with what's happened. 13.2, nav 2. I mean, I'm not less pleased either, if I'm honest. But couldn't really sit there and argue. Cool. 13.2. Yeah, we'll start our descent in around 150 miles. Look at this beautiful sunset here as well. And we better turn some lighting on in here. Otherwise we'll be able to see what we're doing. Now, what I absolutely love in the FlyJSim, they've got these awesome lights. Look at all those switches. Look at this. I love that. So cool. They have it at the front too, but they're a little bit bright, unfortunately. These ones, so actually, I'll show you what it looks like anyway, but I mean, it's up to you. I mean, is that a bit too bright for you guys, or do you want me to use the instrument lighting, or would you prefer to have the forward face lighting like this? So we'll turn it off, and then you can actually turn up the lighting using other switches, but they have it's really nicely modeled here. We'll turn this off because we're not going to be using it. And we'll turn up the panel lighting, and the panel background. There we go. Flight deck to mud. Everyone's very upset to hear about it. They've scratched the walls. How badly? Alright, we'll deal with it later, okay? Mariana is fuming. It looks like the bed delivery company. I mean, you guys all had stuff delivered, I'm sure, but these guys did not give a... I don't want to say, you know what I'm thinking, I'm not going to say it, but yeah, I've never seen anything quite like it. Huffing and puffing, we paid a little bit extra so they could take it upstairs. They said no, not going to take it upstairs, but we're like no, we said we'll take it upstairs, and that was it. They were just angry, just stormed up, shoes on, mud, slammed it in the wall. Apparently got walls, got scratches, so great. Right, Mariana's going to deal with that. I'm going to deal with what we have here in mind. UK to Australia one day, please, says Oliver Charles. That would be quite an epic stream. One of epic proportions. But we'll have to see what we can do. Maybe that'll be good for a 70,000-80,000 special or something. Right, anyway, let's... I'm going to try and switch off with what's actually happened in the last 5 minutes and concentrate on what's going on with you guys in here. So here's Bergamo. Arrival we're going to be flying is the Odina arrival. Just to make sure there's no ATC here because I have no clue. We are still on that, aren't we? No, we're not being disconnected. I'm just going to have a look at the VATSIM map, guys. No, we do have ETC in Bergamo, but not en route at the moment. So, Odina... 1 Sierra, is it? Odina we're expecting. It is, Odina 1 Foxtrot, sorry. So one of these arrivals... I'd like to fly the procedural approach today for Alice Yankee. There we go, and the airport charts as well. Sweet. We'll get some parking stalls too. looking all tickety boo. Oh, look at that, looks really nice in the sim. Obviously, there are alternative simulators that a little bit more modern might make a little bit different yet, but it doesn't look too bad at all. Oh, it looks epic. Nice sunset, dark flight over the Alps. Looking very nice, good. 100k sub special, Heathrow, Sydney, Heathrow, non-stop 2 sectors. I'll probably do the one, bit of stretch, but we'll see what we can do. Right, anyway, so how's this arrival going to begin? Well, we're going to start overhead Odina, and we'll have started our descent prior to reaching Odina as well. So I'm just going to bring up the Navigraph charts for you here. Here is Odina, that's waypoint number 9 we have programmed in the FMC, or I think it's waypoint 1, and then waypoint 2 here is Bergamo. Now I did a little bit of mathematics earlier, and have a look at the flight plan. Now the great thing is SimBrief does actually accurately create a top of descent point for you based on your aircraft. So here you see your top of descent points, flight level 350, and the remaining distance is 120 miles away. So it's really not too far off what you want to work out there. And you'll notice that the top of descent here is 120 miles, Odina is 73 miles away. Well, 120 minus 73, what's that? It's going to be 47 miles before Odina. Let's call it 50. That's nice round maths, keep it simple. 50 miles prior to Odina will initiate our descent, and that shouldn't be too far off what we're doing. 3 times table, all working well. 1,000 feet, and then you just keep checking your remaining distance to go before we get there. Now when we get to sorry again, I keep getting on Navigraph charts up. So yeah, 50 miles, I hope that makes sense. Look, 120 miles top of descent here, Odina's 73. The difference is how many miles we want to start on top of descent. So 47, let's call it 50. So 50 miles from Odina, we'll start our descent. It'll be around here. Now, if you look here at Odina, that's the end of the airway. We're now going to be on the arrival and routing directly to the Bergamo VOR. So, let's have a little look at the charts. So, very important, guys, to respect minimum altitudes because of high terrain. So the first thing we want to have a look at here is going back into Navigraph, sorry. You'll notice here, prior to Odina, we're going to start our descent here, but we have this altitude look of 14,000 in red. Don't go below that, because you're going to hit a mountain. So you've got to respect these minimum altitudes here. I think they're the heights of the airway, so as long as you're above that, you're fine. So we're going to initially descend to flight level 140 and go no lower than that prior to Odina. You have the Alps here, look, the Moras are much higher, 16.6 in fact, so we're going to ensure that we stay on the airway, respect the altitudes there to ensure we're clear of all terrain. Getting rid of the Navigraph charts, when we get to Odina, you can see here we're going to make a left turn, and it's inbound to the Bergamo VOR, which is why I chose this sector, because it's a really nice flight to do based off conventional navigation. It works really well, so I was trying to think of what to do with the FlyJSim. So we're going to go from Odina, which is 34 miles from Bergamo to 17 DME from Bergamo. It's really important that we make notes of the DME distances as we decrease, because if we go lower than these altitudes in IMC, you're going to hit a mountain, so you've got to respect these minimum altitudes. So, because we're going over the Alps here, or we'll be just south of the Alps at this point. So from 34 miles to 17, we can't go below 130. Beyond 17 miles, between 17 and 10, we can go down to 110. And then from 10 miles from Bergamo, we can go down to 90, and from 6 miles down to 6,000 feet. Overhead the VOR, which is great. That's going to be putting us, if we don't get vectors that is, straight into position here to fly the procedural approach. Now this is a very unconventional procedural approach, because the procedure is actually not based off the VOR over the station. We're actually going to be going further eastbound towards an NDB, the Oreo Al Serio NDB, which is 3765, and actually the procedure is based off this. So once we're there, outbound on the NDB on a Category C aircraft here, 125 degrees until we get to 13 miles, and we're going to have the ILS tuned at this point, so 1087 Bravo Romeo Mike. So the DME of the ILS will be 12.5, and once we're at 12.5, left turn, max 185 knots, we'll have the speed brought back at that point to intercept the localizer, which we'll already have tuned for the ILS, and then down we go, respecting the altitude. So over the beacon, 6,000 feet if you remember, and once we're outbound from the locator we can step down to 4,000. I'll probably have a brief level segment at 4,000 feet. We'll intercept the ILS at 10.2 miles, and then down we go. We'll get that all set up now. Nice long runway, 2,800 metres. We'll plan to vacate at Delta, and then very, very short taxi onto stand. The main cargo aprons, I think, for DHL here on the east. So that's it. Any questions, let me know. But we'll start getting everything set up now. So ILS wise, we're going to put that on nav 2, but I want Bergamo active now. 1495, box 1 and 2. Obviously we're still using the INS, so we won't get the DME off that, but we'll then tune the ILS 1087 on the second side. So we can just simply flick the switch over to use the ILS once we're routing inbound to the NDB. So as the procedure is based off the NDB here, Oreo El Serio, we'll get that tuned 3765. So I've got 376, that works fine, and what I'm going to do is turn on ADF ident, so when we get within range we'll get the ADF ident straight away and it'll start pinging up there, which would be great. Actually, we need to turn a little bit of lighting on in here. Wait, hold on. The red dome light, very authentic. That's a little bit too bright. That's quite nice. Let's leave it at that. White block. How is the approach category determined? The approach speed changes with every approach. Good question, actually. Because the approach category is based off a set speed, but it's based off there. I think it's based off a certain weight and a certain speed. All I know is for the 7.3, there are situations where technically we're Cat D, but we use Cat C regardless. For all of them, we've got that written down in our notes somewhere, but I've only ever used Cat C. There we are, so overhead rippers now. There's a steep right turn inbound now to waypoint 9 to 1, so we obviously reprogrammed that to Odina. And remember, we're using this DME distance here, so at 50 we need to start our descent, so we're approaching our top descent point quite quickly here. That's it. Landing performance. We already know the runway length here. I don't have any accurate performance data regarding landing, so we're going to switch to landing here. Plan for flat 30. 128 knots, set the bugs not too heavy. The Q&H in Bergamo for the descent, so remember to actually set it this time. Oh, Captain, check your power. Oh yeah, you're well spotted there. Speed's okay, decimal 7.7. We want to be doing decimal 8.0. So a little bit more thrust there. Excellent spot, Jay Rojo. You'd make an excellent first officer. That's what my FOs usually say. Oof, Captain. Check your power, check your height. Bloody kidding. Where am I? QNH Bergamo's QNH is 1008. Really nice day. Surface wind is 1304, so it's very unlikely to be runway 1028. I'll take the tailwind onto that approach. 12 degrees, QNH is 1008. On that note, I'll see if there's any 80s available. There is, 127950. There is an 80s going through.
008. No significant changes. Advise on initial contact. You have information Bravo.
Information Bravo.
1745 Zulu. This is Bergamo information Bravo. At time 1650, expect ILS approach arrival runway 28.
ILS 28.
Departure runway 28. Transition level 75. Wind calm. Visibility 10 kilometers. Few clouds at 8000 feet. Temperature 12. 2.5 QNH 1008. No significant changes.
Excellent.
Advise on initial contact. You have it.
So information, Bravo, calm winds, few clouds at 8,000 feet, 12 degrees, QNH is 1008. Excellent spot, Tom Baldock, the radio altimeter, yes, so you can set, we're not using the radio altimeter technically, but with the FlyJSim, the minimums call is only linked or synced with the radio altimeter. So, chart here, you can see the banner minimums, which I completely forgot to set, sorry. Category C is 990 feet, so I can put a little red dash there to remind me, look, approaching top of descent here at 50 miles. And we'll set the minimums on the radio altimeter to 236. Now, technically you shouldn't use that, but it is linked to the minimums call, because there could be some undulating terrain to use. There we go, 236 will do. And there's 50 miles, so as we calculated, this would be a good point to initiate descent. There's no ATC, so let's play it safe. Remember, on Navigraph, the minimum en route point or altitude here was 14, or flight level 140, so let's set that on the altimeter. I'm going to start slowly reducing thrust. We're going to get a warning horn now. That's normal. There's a little cut out there to pull that out, and then we're going to select IAS hold, and we're going to initially descend at around, let's bug about 280 knots on the descent. There we are. Top of descent in chat. Down we go. And obviously, yeah, right over the top of the Alps here. I mean, you can just about see it through the cloud. Look. Shame, I should have streamed about an hour earlier. But nights are drawing in now. It's going to be getting darker and darker for me to stream live time. It's going to be a little bit more challenging. If we want to be doing the daytime flights. Tom Baldock, minimums D8. Are you referring to the radio altimeter set? Well, that one, just to make sure everyone's happy with what I did there. The radio altimeter at my operator, we only set for Cat 2 or Cat 3 approaches. Typically 50 feet for Cat 3, around 100 feet for Cat 2 as a minimum altitude. Cat 1, this is a barrow aided, so we use it. The 990 is what's the overriding factor. That happens to be 236 AGL. Which is what I have set on the radio altimeter, which should correspond with 990, but obviously having minimums set higher on a radio altimeter might not be as accurate as you fly, especially if there's buildings or hills. Got to be careful with that, so generally I use them for the Cat 2, Cat 3s for decision heights. How's the sound, guys? It's incredibly loud in my ear, I can barely hear myself speak. But I hope for you guys watching, it's all sounding perfect. That's all that matters. As we start our descent, we should be touching down in around 25 minutes into Bergamo. Ah, Matt here. So you said you'd try and get some AC sorted out. You are on ground. Amazing. My page has just gone off. No, I'm kidding. It's Milano approach 126750. There's a check-in with Milano. At Milano approach Buenos Aires, it's Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, descending to flight level 140 inbound Odina. Odina 1 Foxtrot request ILS Yankee for runway 28 in Bergamo, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha.
Golf Alpha, Roger, expect ILS Yankee runway 28.
ILS Yankee 28, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, grazie. Perfect, so a commonly asked question. How do I know if it's Yankee Zulu Alpha? It's usually that ATC on the ATIS, or ATC will tell us which one's in use or which one would you prefer. Now you could get vectors, but coming in from the north like this for runway 28, this is by far the most efficient way, as in shortest track miles for getting into Bergamo is by coming in here, as we now know, on the Odina arrival towards Bergamo, and then straight outbound for the procedure via the NDB. So remember, I will switch this to ADF. We have nav 1 tuned, and as soon as we're in range, we should get the ident for that. Can barely hear him. I sound distant and narrow, or VATSIM does. Sound is fine. So many conflicting messages. I'm a pro streamer, right? Trying to get all these sounds all looked good. I'm actually, give me 5 seconds, I'm going to listen to the stream myself. Hold on. I see what you mean, guys. The audio in the sim is... It's very quiet for the stream, but for me it is incredibly loud. I mean, I can barely hear myself think right now. Right, I've just turned down the whole sim, or the whole PC now. Now, you shouldn't hear that change. VATSIM was very quiet, okay. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. This has been that, you know, for me, it's very loud right now in the sim, but I will struggle to hear VATSIM. Okay, I've turned up VATSIM up to 40. Usually I have that on 1 or 2. You got to tell, is he a real streamer? So how are we progressing here? Well, yes, we are approaching Odina. So what we're going to do now is, if I bring up the charts there for you, I'm going to switch over to conventional navigation for Bergamo. So what I'm going to do is go over to heading select here. Only have 6 miles to run. Oh, forgot to arm it. There we go. Heading select as well. Turn this to nav. Set the inbound course for Odina, which is 120. Here comes the radial.
Level 130, what's enough?
17 Alpha. Oh, that's asking for trouble. Nav lock. So that's already engaged. Look, and we're making a left turn now to intercept the radial inbound to Odina. So we are now under radar control. I've told him we're going to descend to flight level 140. We've got 50 miles to run from Bergamo, so 5 times 3. We should be overhead the Bergamo VR at around 5,000 to 6,000 feet, plus slowing down, maybe about 8,000 feet, which is roughly where I want to be. So we're going to keep monitoring that as we continue in this direction. 17 miles from Bergamo, it will be safe to go down to 110, but minimum safety altitude here is 130. Just notice the aircraft's being a very lazy turn here. I hope to be a little bit steeper. It's just going to actually fly past the radial here. It's definitely got Vorlock engaged.
Flight level 110, Italian South.
And there is Milan, with high terrain and mountains to our left. Ah, there we go. Now it's increased its bank angle. I hope everything's made sense anyway. It's I try and take what we do when flying an aircraft like this or navigating conventionally, and I do try and simplify it. It's not always as easy, and some background knowledge is required, but I hope I do it justice. And I hope you find this interesting anyway. I certainly enjoy streaming flights like this. Oh, that seems very loud now. I think that might be a bit too loud.
Yankee, report established
V Hope, do you ever see flying saucers? Bizarrely, this is becoming a more frequently asked question on my streams. Not the first time that's been asked. I haven't seen any flying saucers, should be relieved to hear. I'm going to bring the speed back to 250 knots, just slow everything down here. Plus we're going down a little bit quicker than I'd like. So there's 250. Aircraft's in. Descend flight level 130, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. So 130 is checked. So I'm going to cheat here slightly. And when I say cheat, what I'm going to do is set the QNH for Bergamo on the first officers and standby altimeter now. The reason being, to do it 3 times at a point where I'm going to be very busy, it's going to have my work cut out. So I'll keep this obviously set to standard, this altimeter, which is what the autopilot's slave to. So it's not the end of the world, but it's just going to decrease my workload significantly when we get cleared to descend to an altitude. So I'm actually going to add a smidgen of thrust here, just so we can pitch up slightly, as the aircraft does maintain 250. We've still got 40 miles to run, and I can't go any lower than flight level 110 until 10 DME. INS, remember, we're not using it, but it will still give me DME and timing information, which is great. So you can see, look, 34 miles DME, but on the INS 33, let's do a slant range, 6.5 minutes. So it's quite useful for that, because you can still have ETAs and work out how long it'll take until you get to the VOR. Now it looks like this is one of those charts, look, where the aircraft doesn't overlay, but you'll have to trust me when I say we're inbound here. I hope we're inbound here to Bergamo. You can't hear anything now. The aircraft is now silent. Oh my god, it's so loud. What is going on? I cannot describe how loud the sim is in my ears right now. Oh, I can't even hear myself think now. How's that? Now, can you still hear me? That's the important thing. I've turned up the sim quite a bit. So I got 1 to go. So a little bit lower than I anticipated. That's fine. I don't mind having a brief level segment. At descend flight level 110 after Bergamo, proceed to Oreo, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. So we are under radar control. We have these charted altitudes, but ATC is responsible for our terrain clearance there. Hasn't the sound problem had before? I have had sound issues in the past Vision Link, but that was at different issues. But I'm being deafened by X-Play in my ears, and I've got my personal volume set down. But we'll have a play of it. But how is it for you now? It should be now, I hope, a little louder and everything as clear as it possibly can be. Is armed, perfect. So we're just going to wait. I've got the ADF tune 376, so still waiting for the ADF, and then this is obviously pointing towards the Bergamo VOR, which is useful for us. Ah, there we are. Look, there's the ADF. Let's check the ident again. There you go, that's Oscar, Romeo, India. So we have the ADF identified, which is very important because the whole approach is built off this NDB. And we're descending to flight level 110. Ah, and there you go. There is Bergamo Airport. Sim is fine now, good. Better, but the engine's still a bit quiet. Might be because Ben Spouse, they're positioned so far behind me. I mean, I'll turn this up lots, look, and if I go outside, and they're pretty much idle as well, so Thank you very much, Tal, for your donation. Very kind of you. And thank you for your continued support as a member as well. Hope you're doing very well, Tal Doliscu.
And number 47, would you be able to get the VOR DME arc to intercept the
Ooh.
ILS for runway?
Is that Mr. Bewley trying a VOR DME arc? I've taught him well.
Okay, 137, roger.
Andrew Stevenson finally learning good VOR-ish training.
ILS X-ray runway 28 Alpha.
So approaching 10 miles. At 10 miles, and we can then go down to 9-0, but we are still under radar control. Just taking a little bit of thrust off, doing 250 knots. Put the seatbelt sign on. VATSIM is very quiet now. Okay. See, the thing is, VATSIM is very loud. All of it is very loud for me. Like, if I put the sim down. Ah, that might be. Descend fly level 80, Alpaca 90 Golf Alpha. So 80 checked. Let's take a little bit more thrust off. Oh, it's Freckles, not Will. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little play with this. Play with the sounds here. Yeah, I can't hear VATSIM anymore. Perfect. So, approaching over the airfield, there is 8 miles, so we can now go down to 90 as cleared by ATC. I'm going to go idle, start slowing the aircraft down. I'm also going to slow down to around 220 knots for the procedure. Probably streaming software, yeah, probably. But the thing is, I've not touched a single thing at all. Anyway. It's an altitude 5,000 feet, QNH 1009er, and cleared ILS Yankee runway 28, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. So QNH slightly changed, 1009 to... So 1009 set, 10,000, 5,000, we've been cleared approach. So cleared approach, we're now responsible for terrain clearance, 3 miles to run, so we can descend down to 6,000, 5,000. And we're now going to go to heading select. And we're going to route direct to the NDB. So yeah, I'm only using the RMI now. It's the only way I can fly towards the NDB. Just to show you where we are. Look. Going towards Oscar Romeo India. So we need to get this set up for the ILS now. So inbound course is... where's my chart here? 284. 284. That's the marker for the approach. And we're not using the VOR anymore, so we're going to switch this to ILS. So we've got the DME here now. So yeah, I'm not going to cheat here. We're going to go direct to the NDB, 376.5. So I'm only using this RMI here to get towards the NDB. So just flying towards it. Push the head, pull the tail. Looking good. So we can now safely descend after the NDB to 4,000 feet. So a little bit high here. I'm just going to use a bit of speed brake. You see the aircraft on the approach below us? That's why you got to respect those altitudes. Pretty cool, isn't it? Well, it's going down a little bit quicker than I'd like, but we'll take it. So yeah, look, there's an aircraft on the approach directly below us. How cool is that? Doesn't look good there, but when you've got this difference in height, not an issue at all. Oh my goodness, not concentrating. We just passed the NDB. Oh no. Right. Ah, come on. Oh dear, oh dear. A bit distracted by the pretty airplanes. Right, tail of a needle on 125, okay. I'd said 4,000 feet till established Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. So I need to make this heading. I need to get the tail of this needle on 125. I've completely overshot the turn here, though, because I was too busy looking at the pretty aircraft. So, chart-wise, we're going to be up here somewhere. We should be a lot further south. We're going to be about there on the Cat A. I'll just show you. Look, there you go. Look, we'll fix it. So now we're waiting for our turn, which is going to be at 12.5 DME, okay, off Bravo Romeo Mike, 1087. So yeah, a little bit Haywards, but you can see, look, because I'm flying right of heading 125, we're dragging that tail. Once the tail of that needle's on 125, we're where we should be. And again, I'm now going to bring the speed back to 180, because remember on the chart, it was max 185 knots for this turn. There's 180. And we'll need to select flaps now, so we're going to go flap 1. There's that tail of that needle on 125, so I'm not sure what the wind is. I think it's calm, so we're going to fly heading around 125 now. We should be pretty much where we want to be on the line now. Oh, a bit south of it. Not far off. The tail of the needle at least says 125, maybe 126. Oh, we've lost the NDB. Well, that's no good. Well, we'll just go wings level now until we get to that initial point we need to turn, which is 12.5. There's 12.5, so we can turn final now. I'm going to take another notch of flaps, flaps 5. Still at idle thrust. So we've complied with the speed restriction for that final turn. And I found we do undershoot on testing. We do undershoot slightly here. So speed's good. Probably a tad low on the approach. So I'm just going to add a bit of thrust here to maintain 180 knots. Just want to reduce my rate of descent to around 500 feet per minute. That's the beauty of IS hold. You can use thrust to control your rate of descent. Now I'll show you here. When I tested this, if you do that turn completely, you undershoot it. So yeah, it's not too bad. Look, we're working out quite nicely. But I'm going to take a very brief base leg here. There we are. So glide slopes there. We're a bit low. Not to worry. What I'm going to do is descend. We're going to do vertical speed and use that to control our rate of descent. Well, we're already level at 4,000. No CDA today. Not to worry. Now I'm going to have to add thrust to maintain about 180 knots. Right, there's. Oh, come on. Where's the heading bug? Might just overshoot the localizer here slightly. Ah, bugger. That's my fault. I didn't realise. I hadn't actually given myself a continuous turn. Not to worry. Speed's getting a bit high. This is so hard. Hard work. It's overshot the localizer slightly. And now I'm going to arm auto glide slope. So localizer's captured. Set the runway heading to 284. Let's bring the thrust back. Glide slope capture, missed approach altitude, which I didn't even brief. 6,000 feet. There we are. Idle thrust. Alpaca 9 to Golf Alpha, establish ILS Yankee 28. Clear to land runway 28, Alpaca 9 to Golf Alpha. Come on, Jim. Post cruise checks. So the workload when I'm flying an aircraft unfamiliar. INS navigation, all this, it's off the chart. Really, really, really busy. And chatting to you guys. I love it. I love it. 132 knots. We'll bug our final approach speed now. And we've got about 10 miles to run. Looking good. Can you hear? I hope you heard ATC as well and everything. I could hear them very clearly, but I know we've had some issues with the audio today. So Bergamo ground, 1205. That's on standby. Approaching 7 miles. Struggling to slow down a little bit here at idle thrust, so I'm going to go flap 15. I'm going to arm the speed brake now as well. Still struggling to slow down a little bit, so we'll drop the gear. Flaps 25. Start feeding in that thrust. The engines do take some time to spool up. So you don't want to get low on speed and then realise. So a little bit too much thrust there. I'm going to take the landing flap, which is flap 30. Speed's coming back with the extra drag now. Feed in that thrust to maintain around 132 knots. Looking good. Only your voice is spot on. Oh, I'm so sorry the sound in the game is so quiet for you. It's so loud in my ear right now. My goodness. Right, speed's okay. Ooh, oh, the screen went there. So start switches, recalls none, speed brakes armed. Landing gears down 3 green, flaps 30 green light. Lights are on, clear to land, winds calm, no excuses. List of approach procedure not briefed. Go around unavailable. Yeah, no comment on that one. Right, I think we'll have some fun here. Disconnect everything. I'm just trying to fix the volume, just so you can actually hear the sim. No. Let's turn this one up slightly and turn up X-Plane 11. No, it is louder now. I can't hear myself think, but right, disconnecting. Autopilot's disconnected. So we're maintaining around 700-800 feet per minute to stay on this ILS. Nice low approach speed because we're quite light. Checked. Getting a tad low on the glide slope, so just going to pitch up slightly, add a bit of thrust so we don't get low on speed. There is 3 reds. There we are, back on the profile, start descending. Looking good. Localize is okay. Tad low on the profile again, so just pitch up to around 500 feet per minute. There we are. Again, back on the profile. I'm just going to keep it at 500 till I'm bang on the glide slope. There we are, and there we'll start descending. Speed's good, maybe a tad fast. Just take a little bit of the thrust off. Just going to zoom in slightly here. There we are. Checked. And tad low. Just got a tendency of dipping below the pappies here. Checked. There's the marker. Continue. So still in limits, just about 3 reds. 4 reds at this stage, not too much to worry about. Much lower than I'd like to be. Oh dear. Just about acceptable. Check. Close. Ooh, floating it out. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, lovely. Minus 70. Speed brakes up. Slowly add the thrust for the reverses. Well, apart from the fact I was trying to clip the trees on the threshold. Not bad. Cool, braking quickly. Manual braking. 80 knots. 60 knots side reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Milan Bergamo. Local time is 7:50 in the evening. Stow the buckets and we'll take the first left. Lovely. Aerosoft, guys. Bergamo's Aerosoft scenery, before anyone asks. Cut the corner slightly. 120.5, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. Ciao. Excellent. So we'll just make sure we cross the line. That's when the runway's vacated. Let's let the flaps up. And we'll flick over to ground. And we'll check in with ground. Bergamo ground, good evening. Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. We've just vacated 28 at Delta.
Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha, audio ground, buonasera. Stand 404, taxi via Tango.
Stand 404 via Tango, Alpaca 9 Golf Alpha. So I think that's a left. 50-50. Just having a look here on the charts in front of me before I show you guys, just making sure I'm not on the right way. Yes, it is. All looking good. Excellent. Right. We'll start the cleanup, get the APU as well, because it will be a short taxi. What a lovely flight. Getting this thing from A to B is rewarding in itself. little few mistakes here I'm not too pleased with myself about, but overall, very, very happy. It is a challenge, navigating conventionally, but yeah, great fun. Right, get the APU started. There we go, that's powering up. Turn off the forward-facing outboard and inboard lights. Flaps are up, trim is reset. Flaps are up. Strobes can come off. Probe heat as well. That'll do. So, nice simple taxi. My sort of airport. Left at Delta on Tango. And stand 404 is just here. Passing through A3. APU's coming up. Looking good. Oh yeah, I need to definitely have a play of the volumes with the streaming overlay here because I can't hear anything. No music or anything. David Triple says, hello FlyJSim. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Great fun. Great fun. Love flying this aircraft. We still have a 727 in Greenland which we need to go and pick up at some point as well. Oh, that's making it very hard to see. Stand 402. Let's keep the taxi light on for a little bit longer, I think. 403. Right outside of DHL, look. They've contracted Alpaca Cargo this evening. And 404, now we'll pop off the taxi light. Probably got to reassign the brake here. Ooh, let's run out of inertia there. Come on. That should do us. No Marshall, unfortunately. But at least we're not blinding him, but there is a little arrow here usually you can stop at. Oh, that arrow looks close enough to what we'd be looking for in real life. That'll do. We'll pop it there. Parking brake is set. Let's pop the APU on the bus. So, close the generator. APU's providing the AC power. There's no blue lights or anything. There we are. Shut the engines down. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Milan Bergamo. It's very dark here. We've got no lighting, unfortunately. Alpaca Airways, you know, can't quite afford to have lighting to see where we're unloading the cargo. All our ground crew have to use torches. Amazing. What a very enjoyable flight this has been. Shamrock 118 is interested in delivery. Massive thanks again, Jamlin, for making it. Although you do have to stare to make sure you can actually see it. Pop the anti-collision light off for authenticity. There we are. Aircraft's all powered down. Just the nav lights on. Show that the APU is running. Topius, that was number 12 in the list. Topius has made a list of all my landings, so not bad. Very smooth. Well, Edward stole the buckets, but it's pronounced bouquet. Amazing. Lots of butter emojis in chat as well, as usual. Superb. Andrew Stevenson, winds calm, no excuses. FlyJSim 2020. I do say that every time the winds are calm, but it is correct. No excuses. J-Ro, I dare you to use the pneumatic brake. Yeah, that's for emergencies only. Essentially, if you lose all your hydraulic power, I don't know which system powered the brakes, but you have an alternate brake system in the 7.3. You've got a brake accumulator. You can only pump them so many times, but I guess that's the same sort of system. Estimate APU goes to the bus. Go around, copyright Mariana. My goodness. Oh, Mega MCO, you're right. Essential power, which is why we've got everything blinking at us. There we go. Everything's happy now. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much to everyone that turned up for the FlyJSim cargo stream. I hope you found that interesting, learned something new. Great fun always jumping into these classic aircraft. You'll find the FlyJSim 727 in the Expo North store. If you're really up for a challenge, you want to learn how to fly jets like this using conventional navigation, it is a fantastic aircraft to buy. I thoroughly recommend grabbing it. It's really good fun to do, and I love flying it as well. Next stream will be the 50th butter. Tobias, I've done 49 butters to date. Incredible statistic. Amazing. Well, guys, we'll jump and do the replay as usual, and then we'll sign off as per, but thank you very much to all the comments coming in. I've been reading it here. Seats for landing, please. It's Ben Spouse. Amazing. Right, anyway. Less natting. The audio's all broken on this stream today, so sorry about that. I'll have a little play with the settings for the next stream as well. I've not touched anything, but something's definitely been amiss today. But on that note, we'll enter the replay mode, and I hope you could at least hear the funky music. Oh my gosh, yeah, that is so quiet. My goodness, yeah, something's definitely amiss here. I can see why everything's so quiet. Right, disconnected off FlyJSim. Well, it did it for me because we ended the replay there. Wow, yeah, I can see the replay music is incredibly quiet. I think I know what it is. The Streamlabs OBS was on 1. It was so quiet. I think I've already found out what it is, which is great news. All right, well, I'll do some digging as to why that one was turned down. But the reason I think everything was so quiet that the Streamlabs OBS in Windows was set really low, which turns down the volume for everything I guess it's recording. So, yeah, I'll have to do some test streams privately to see if I can find a setting where everything sounds perfect, but it looks like I found it at least. Right, anyway, let's have a look at this approach. So generally, I had a bit of a tendency on this one to keep dipping below the glide slope, which is not ideal. We don't want to be doing that. So you see I got to 3 reds. I didn't really make much of a positive correction to fix it. I just went a bit like there, but it was not positive enough. We went to 4 reds briefly. I got all excited by the marker going off, and we dipped to 4 reds at this point. Now at this stage of the approach, you know, you don't want to be getting any low, of course, but yeah, I wouldn't be too comfortable getting that low in real life. Anyway, all we care about is the butter. Now that sounds brilliant. I know. List of it, wrong timing though, isn't it? Right at the end of the stream. Oh, come on. That must have been minus 10. That wasn't minus 70. Outrageous. Yes, amazingly, I just managed to realise that the OBS music player was so low. Right, anyway. Let's enjoy these sounds. Oh, I mean, sometimes I have to question those butter statistics. I mean, that was silky smooth. Can we start the stream again with the sound level, please? Yeah. Repeat. I'd love to do a return sector, but I'm back to work tomorrow, and I've got a little bit too much to do. I need to try and find out what on earth's happened to this bed. Oh dear. One more butter then. Can you go to daylight for the replay? I don't think you can change it, unfortunately. So it doesn't work. Actually, you know what? I've just realised something. If I turn this off and then do the replay, let's just try that one more time. I wonder if I can get daytime for you guys. Let's try. I don't think you can change it. Be wrong in that. No, you can't change it. I know that there might be a way, but I don't know. Love that sound. Do I prefer to fly at night or day? During the day. During the day. Just everything about explaining the way the aircraft handles and reacts to external factors is awesome. Look at that for centerline. Boof. I'll take that. Wicked. Alright guys, well, I'll pop you back into the flight deck just to sign off as well. As usual, thank you very much to everyone that took part in the stream today in chat. Thank you very much to all the members for the continued support, everyone that donated. It's very, very kind. You never ever feel like you have to do that at all. If you just enjoy the show, all I ever ask is you to smash the thumbs up button, subscribe as well to stay up to date with the content. We're approaching, it's up to over 67,000 subscribers now, which is absolutely wicked. I'm actually back flying this week, so I'll try and post a few little bits and pieces on social media. On Instagram, I usually try and put a few bits on the story here and there as well. And next public stream won't be until next week, guys, because I'm actually flying every day this week, which is very exciting for me. Not so good for you guys, you get to see so many live streams. But next flight, I haven't got anything lined up or thought about. We could do anything. The whole world is your oyster. So leave in the comment section below. Say, I'd like to see a Microsoft Flight Simulator stream. I'd like to see X-Plane. I'd like to see Zebo. I want to see Concorde. Let me know what you guys like to see. I've got so many things I'd like to do, but I want to do what you guys want to see. As usual, stay safe out there, and guys, stay safe. I need to really have a script for this. Right, I'll see you all for the next live stream very, very soon. Bye bye for now.